right, buddy. Welcome Thursday Night Forum here. We've got Gary, we've got Stan in the house, and we got a blast from the past. Rohan, how are you doing, Rohan?
Hey guys, I'm doing so well, and end of the season, I couldn't wait to talk Arsenal with my mates. So I'm here.
All right, cool. And in a moment, we'll get your perspective on the game because you're coming. You just got back from watching the game live,
Yeah, yeah.
right, Rohan?
I watched the Brighton away game and the Bayern game, and I just got back yesterday. So amazing experience, and something different from watching on TV, right? And the yearly
Yeah.
pilgrimage is done, and I'm energized for the end of the season.
And you got to see a Champions League quarterfinal as well.
Yeah,
Not bad.
first time.
Not
Yeah,
bad at all.
it was amazing. I mean, it was just such a it was a very emotional moment, right? Like, because I remember, about 12, 13 years ago when I was in university at law school, then we used to in India, right? So it used to be at 12:30 in the morning, those round of 16 matches, and we used to have projectors, etc., to watch the game. I was the only Arsenal fan. My flatmates were United, Chelsea fans, but we would all sit together to watch. And then I watched Arsenal get spanked 5-1 like all the time, right? Like, and so it took a whole circle. Life took a whole circle, right? Like, now I was there live, and this time I was feeling very confident. In fact, like, coming out with a 2-2, it felt like we were robbed. So
Yeah.
yeah.
A little bit deflating. All right, we'll get into it. So we got Rohan's viewpoint on that, Stan. What were your thoughts, initial salvo on the Arsenal Desmond Tutu?
Well, it's all level again now, isn't it? We don't
Yeah.
have the away goals rule. I've already voiced my fears about this team perhaps not being quite ready for places like the Allianz away or the Bernabeu away. But as Gary convinced me in our last conversation, rather than avoiding these fixtures, at some point they're going to have to feel it. They're going to have to know what it feels like to play at the Bernabeu. So I'm now, even though I'm nervous about it, I'd rather us walk into that fire now in this season, because if things don't work out this season, that valuable experience could put us in good stead for the next season.
Yeah.
And that's what it's about, right? If you look at the way Arsenal have been under Mikel Arteta, there's been growth incrementally, and maybe this is the next part, because I still believe that we looked very much flustered and overawed by the occasion at Porto, which is why we lost. So nervous. I'm nervous about these away fixtures, but it's got to be done.
Yeah, from my point of view, I echo some of the things you're saying, Stan, and the criticism and the banter you get from other fans. It's there because Arsenal are learning again. As Rohan said, I think it's been 14 years since we were back at this stage in the quarterfinal. We're learning again how to grow up. We're infants pretty much going into Europe, learning. At Sevilla, we got a great win out there, Gary, at Sevilla. We got a different experience at Lens, and the group stage at PSV was a bit of a damn squib because we'd already qualified. And then we went to Porto. So it's a learning experience, Gary, in my opinion.
And I'll keep saying it until it happens, but I don't like having to learn once. Why can't we just basically pass the first time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We always seem to need a learning experience before we get it right the first time. Sometimes I feel like, how about we just once in a while just do it the first time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that was a game. Playing against Bayern Munich, everybody thought would struggle. They're struggling in their league, but these games aren't all just about talent, right? They are about basically also being able to control the moment and play some football. I don't think we played some good football like we've been playing in the Premier League, because we've done it before. Once we got to Champions League, that was an experience. We won our group, experience. You know, beat Porto, experience.
Mhm.
Now we have this next one. So these are all
Yeah.
new for everybody, Arteta included. Yes, we've got Jorginho and Havertz that have gone through all the way. But I think we need more than that experience, I think, to get us through. So, yeah, no, I'm just hopefully we just play like we have nothing to lose. We play like that. That's kind of how I felt. Kind of for the moment in the second half of that game. Right in the first half, I think we were deer in the headlights. I think and that
Can I
game
just
was
ask?
not.
May I ask a question? Do we have extra time in this next fixture if it's 0-0 or 1-1
Yeah.
and it goes straight to penalties,
Yes.
or is there extra time?
Extra time than penalty.
There is
Mm.
extra time.
Like
Okay,
like
good
how
luck.
we played the round of 16.
Yeah.
Still can't remember.
Any
Too much of that.
any kind of
Much
a draw. Yeah, any kind of a draw, Stan will take it into extra time and penalties if it's not resolved. Away goal rule is gone now, so I think it's actually added to the enjoyment value this week. This midweek, we've seen all of the games be pretty good open games, especially in the first leg, because teams know they're not going to lose it in the first leg. You know what I mean? I mean, you can. Technically, you can lose 3-0. We were hoping, maybe we're over egging Arsenal a little bit with the home performance, but
I don't think so. I like if people are going to say, yes, it's different in the Champions League, but our performances have been against teams that have played and won in the Champions League, right? We've played Liverpool, we've played City.
Yep.
I mean, we played
Yep.
Sevilla, we played Porto, all teams that have experience in the Champions League, right? So I kind of feel like yes and no. We have
well,
played
you
we have played those types of teams. So I kind of
Yeah.
feel like, you know what, our experience against City, I think, has done us well. I don't think, like, if you look at the way we played City at their place, all right, and how we played at our place, not the same. I think for me, I was saying that game was the first half for me was too much, and the second half was kind of boring, but we got the job done. It's a little bit more controlled. Basically, that first half, I think we let them control things. Second
Yeah.
half, I think we said no. Let's control it. We slowed it down to a pace that we liked, and they got nothing. Right? They didn't score. We scored. So we'll take that any day. So
Yeah, definitely. It was a tale of a game of two halves, Rohan. The way I characterize it is, up and coming youth and talent against the heritage of Bayern Munich and the know-how in that competition.
Yeah, I mean, it was their experience that counted, right? Like, they knew that they had to sit back. They knew that we were the team in form. They were coming in after a defeat on the weekend. They didn't want to play. They played the way that they should have, and we should have made some wiser decisions. I think in terms of passing, etc., this was the worst game that we had all season.
Yeah.
And in the worst game of the season, we drew 2-2 with Bayern Munich, right? Like we weren't able to make like simple passes in this game. It was infuriating, right? Kivior, if he was going to be taken off, anyways, we've got a plethora of left backs. Why didn't he just pull Sane for the first goal or something, right? Like, that's what even Partey did when he came on. He did that smart foul in the halfway line. Both of our goals were preventable. We've just got to be smart at this phase, at this stage, right? You've got these substitutions. We can use them, and we just let them get on it. Like Sane, he glides on the pitch, right? He was unstoppable. And from our side, watching that from the North Bank and looking at Martinelli was doing nothing in that game. And I rewatched it, or after I got back last night, I rewatched the game, and that's what struck out, right? When you watch it on the television, then because the camera is not focusing on that side, you forget that there's a player there who's not contributing. But during the game, it was so infuriating because Martinelli just wasn't offering himself. And when he did get the ball, he wasn't taking people on, right? That's not typically how he is. They were double
Yep.
teaming him, but where were the hands in the air and asking for the ball and doing those things? So the team was, I think it was the occasion that got to them a little bit, and also just an off day, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Keenan and what Stan said a little bit, the occasion of the importance of the fixture as well, Stan. Mikel Arteta had called for this to the fans to enjoy it, and the fans probably enjoyed the game, being 14 years. But the players, I think the issue could be the players want to give the fans give it too much and too quickly, and we played over eager in this first half, especially.
There's also a clutch of players that Mikel Arteta has bought, who I kind of thought were being bought for this kind of period in the Champions League. So you've got players like Gabriel Jesus and Zinchenko, who have both been here before. You've got Kai Havertz, Thomas Partey, and Jorginho. And really, the only one that is really a mainstay is Havertz. The others seem to be on the fringes, right? Zinchenko seems to be further down the pecking order. Jesus has lost his place to Havertz. Thomas Partey is coming back from a long laid-off injury and is kind of like a bit part at the moment and coming off the bench and is a bit rusty. And Jorginho, it's kind of like, if the game suits, he'll maybe start. And he can't play 3 games in a row. So it's fun. It just seems odd, not odd, but the players that are the ones that are supposed to be guiding us through, only really one of them is a mainstay in the team at the moment. The others are on the fringes.
Yeah. Yeah. And you actually omitted Leandro Trossard, who I think is showing
not Champions
the
League,
maturity.
though, is he? Trossard's not Champions League.
No, but he's showing up and he's got that maturity in his game. I think he's a very mature player, and he knows how to hold on to the ball and keep it.
But also as well, the great footwork by Greg. When we did bring on Jesus, he was
Jesus when he came on was causing all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
When he came on, that was a required change. We needed to get Martinelli went off then both of our. Martinelli and Jorginho went off, and it was Zinchenko and this one who came on, right? Zinchenko was for Kivior, and then Trossard and Jesus came on. But Jesus, when he came on, he was causing all sorts of problems. I think he's going to start in the next leg. Definitely, he's going to start. I think Tomiyasu will play as left back in the next leg.
Yes. In the space of the Brighton game, the Bayern game, and this return Bayern game, we'll see all 3 left.
Yeah, because with Zinchenko, when he came on, he made a difference, and the home leg was the game to play him. Right. With his defensive capability, I don't know if I would play him at the Allianz.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, and look, the thing is as well, we all were maybe thinking at halftime, it's got to be Tomiyasu for his defensive abilities, but Mikel Arteta went the other way, which was brave at halftime to bring on Zinchenko for his attacking prowess and give us an extra man in midfield and push the team 15 yards further up the pitch.
Yeah, no, I think the game plan going into the game should have been kind of what the second half was with the same players. I think we would have seen something totally different. We wouldn't have been caught out, I think, as much as we were in that first half, and maybe those goals wouldn't have happened at all because we play a little bit more, like I said, we play a lot more controlled. The one thing we didn't do, which, I think there's a difference in the game, is you can see it. Anytime we gave them an inch, they took a mile every time.
Yeah,
they did not look back if we gave them a little bit of a break. As soon as that I think it was the goal? Yeah, that goal. Bang, bang! Like 3 touches of the ball, and they were off to the races. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, we never did that, and we have that in our locker. Right? That's something we can do. We didn't do it at all. Like it was almost like Arteta had the handbrakes on, had them in third gear, and in the bad third gear. Not like controlled, because I think we're better than that in terms of like we should be. Like I always say, we pull up so many times and just turn back and go, you know what? Why don't you guys set up your defense and then we'll try to break you down, as opposed to what Bayern did was, oh, you made a little bit of a mistake. We're gonna take a risk here. Okay, and they did that. We didn't take any risks, right? That spin on here we are, right there on the touch line. We didn't do that. that ball where like I said, the ball right through the middle, 3 touches and they were off, right? We got that. We got Martinelli. Come on, we can do that. No, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
So I kind of felt like, you know what, Arteta maybe held back a bit in terms of what we can do, because there's a lot we could do all those things that they did. I didn't see it as much as I thought we would, and I think he's holding back because he doesn't want us to get caught out. But I think at some points during the game you have to, and that's probably experience, but you have to know, look, I've got these guys on the heels. Let's take it to them right now. We didn't do that. We just break people down, and you see that in the goals that we scored. All right, so I kind of feel like sometimes we have to take advantage of the defensive lapses that are on the other side. I mean, they had Dyer in the back line. Did we take advantage of that?
No.
With Havertz?
No.
I mean, come on. Those are the things that teams are going to do, right? Zinchenko comes into the game. What's the first thing they do? They run right at him instantly, and you hear it. The commentator's like, Zinchenko comes on, that wing is running right at him. Why? Because that makes sense. Why would I not take advantage of a frailty in one of your defensive players? We don't do that. Saka gets a yellow on Davies. For the rest of the game, he doesn't run at him with that same vigor that he should. He should be able to go reckless on him, because even if he does run him over, who cares? The next time he does it, he'll probably stick a leg out. Next thing you know, he's out the game, right? But we didn't punish them for the mistakes. Like that Davies one is the one Davies one is one we do all the time. Saka will get somebody in trouble with a yellow early in the game, and then for some reason we're going to take it easy on them for the rest of the game. Saka should have been so tired running at Davies for that first half. We got to pull him because he's tired. He's just running at him. Next guy comes in, if it's Trossard or Jesus, he's in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those are the things that we still need to take care of in terms of how we prepare our guys to play, especially when you get an advantage like that. Now he's out the next game, but it doesn't matter. They're prepared for it now. But during the middle of the game, we need to take advantage of it. We didn't.
Rohan, did you have something you wanted to come in with there?
Yeah, I think that they sat back a lot, right? There wasn't enough space for us to run in behind, but I do think that we didn't make that attempt also. The only time that we made that pass, through the lines was when was in the last seconds, right? When Partey played Saka through, and that's when we saw what sort of chaos can be created, right? So there was a little bit lack of opportunity, but a lack of application also, right? Like this was our strong team, right? This was our Premier League team, which has been doing so well.
Yep.
I don't know if it was completely instructions by Arteta or just the players didn't, apply themselves because they were static. There was no movement that was happening. The crowd was on their case to kind of move, interchange positions, etc. But they just weren't doing that, and I was expecting a lot more of Martinelli, especially, but that wasn't happening. Saka, a lot of times, his first touch, that he's going to take that touch and then cut inside, which is fine, but his touch was just a little bit off that nanosecond off that helped them to close and double man him. But but all in all, I think it was a mixture of the occasion and application. But I think this was a strong team, and we should have gone and beaten them. We just weren't smart enough to to play those fouls and to play it to our advantage.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty strong team. KVR, arguably we don't know the level of fitness of Tomiyasu, but KVR Tomiyasu would have been the only thing that you would have maybe debated. I thought it was a strong team for that.
They've also got a very strong team. Let's not forget.
Yeah, of course.
It's, I mean, you look at all of the positions of the players that they filled, and even players that were on the bench. You could probably say that their bench is stronger than ours. Players like Coman on the bench, and Gnabry didn't even start in that game.
No, he did.
I did.
Yeah, he came off injured. Yeah,
someone else on the bench that they got is pretty strong. But I mean, it's a strong team that they've got.
Yeah.
Eric Dyer notwithstanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a strong team. There's no doubt. But we were the farm team and we were the home team, right? So that is why the onus was on us. And thank God for no away goals. That's kind of bit us many times. And although I see a tweet which I semi agreed with, that for both of these matches, as exciting as it was, it could have ended 0-0 and it would have been the same. Its effect would have been the same for the second leg because it's a draw. Yeah. But I like it this way. We've been burnt too many times.
Yeah, you could play a 0-0 draw, but I want to take the narrative, and I agree with the narrative that Mikel Arteta ended with at the end of the game. We basically gifted 2 goals to Bayern, and we can feel good that having done that, we earned our 2 goals as well in a much better fashion.
And possibly a third with the penalty.
Or the ball. I mean, they could have scored.
We'll get into that.
Hit the post too, right? So I mean, it could have been 4-2 easy.
Exactly. It could have been a 3-2 in any which way. Okay, yeah.
No, so I get the fact that they hit the post once, but apart from that, they scored with their only 2 shots on target.
Yeah.
That is all.
You know what? That is what we do.
That's efficient, though, isn't it?
We are a defense that doesn't give much.
2 shots, 2 goals.
Think about it. A team gets so starved for anything. When we make a mistake, they pounce on it. So yes, they only get few chances, but those chances, they're putting 100% of everything into it. So you look at every game we play, it'll be 1 shot, 2 shots on target, and they score, right? Like I think it's West Ham, right? 1 goal in this. They had like 1 or 2 shots on target. Teams know when they play us defensively, we're solid enough that the only way you're going to get a chance if we make a mistake, right? And we make mistakes because we're still a little bit young. We had a couple of chances.
We'll get into that goal, Gary, as well. And you know what? They are a good team, and they took advantage of what we did. And they used that against us. But I wanted to get to Lawrence. Lawrence is waiting patiently for your opening thoughts, Lawrence, on the game.
Good evening, Lawrence.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, hi. So sorry for being away for a week. Circumstances beyond my control.
All right, you're absolved from all punishment.
Okay. I felt we didn't have control of the game even when we went 1-0 up.
Yeah.
I thought once we went 1-0 up, I thought we would have put a stranglehold on the game, but I just didn't feel confident. They were hitting us on the break. How Ben White missed that chance when he was put through?
Ooh, yeah. Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, I was yelling at the screen at the TV. All he had to do was to side foot it in. Had he had
think about it, we've seen him volley a shot in with no time to think about it. This one, he had all the time in the world, and you're like,
he could have taken it round the keeper.
He's a defender.
Had we got?
Yeah.
No, I've seen him score goals for us. I've seen him score goals for us. He knows to put the ball away from the goalkeeper. I've seen him do it.
Yeah.
Had we gone 2-0 up, I think it would have been game over. Because after that, I just didn't feel confident. And why David Raya has to run 30 yards out of his goal when when Gabriel is covering him, this is why
Here we
I'm
go.
sort of pro Ramsdale.
We'll get it.
Here
Ramsdale
we
Here
go.
we
Yeah, come on, here it
Here
comes.
we go.
Here it
You guys are all waiting just to pounce on this whole "we love
Lawrence.
Ramsdale"
Lawrence
thing. As
is
soon as Ram makes a mistake.
Lawrence is playing fly keeper right now
Lawrence,
on the red.
Lawrence,
Yeah.
Lawrence, before you go ahead and say what I think you might say, can I just let you know something? You see what I've got here? A brand,
Yeah, I can
brand new,
oh,
brand new
It
pen.
came out of the wrapper.
am I going to be?
Brand new, man. Please, Lawrence, don't let your name be the first name that comes out on this ink.
Okay.
Please.
All right,
All right.
go ahead, Lawrence.
I'll wait
Go
for
ahead.
Tony. No, but,
You
But-
got him laughing now.
you know, yeah, as I said, we basically created schoolboy errors for their goals. You know, I mean,
The highest
both
level.
both Gabriel and Saliba have got to take ownership for what they did. But in saying that, the way we came back in the second half, I mean, I'm just glad we got Trossard. You know, I think he's more effective when he comes off the bench than he is when he starts a game for us. Impact player. You know, that's two games.
I don't want to drive.
Ronnie Rosenthal.
No. I don't want to drive that narrative that Trossard is going to be a super sub. He can be just as
Solskjaer.
effective as a starter as well.
He does it.
He
but
scored.
some players
I'm going to
are
go
like
back
that.
to it. He scored a hat trick at Anfield, and I don't think he came off
Yeah.
the bench to do it.
No,
So-
he didn't do
Some
it.
players are like that. I mean, he has a record, right? He's got a record of now, I think it's 6 goals off of the bench, and that's more than anyone throughout the whole of the
But
leagues in Europe.
I think
In
Rohan
Europe.
said he's pushing for a start in Germany. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In an environment, and we'll talk about that in a little bit.
We've
In an
seen
environment where
we've
you're
seen what
need to
happens,
hold
don't
the
we?
ball.
He pushes for a start. He does, because he's so good coming off the bench. He
Yeah.
pushes for a start. He gets given that start, and he's a passenger, invariably.
Yeah.
Isn't that more on
Invariably,
Arteta
right?
in his game? Is that more on Arteta in his game plan? Because when he
No.
brings him in when he brings him as a sub, you see the way that we're playing.
Players are
So
going to
you
get
start-
the goal.
when we start
Never takes
a
his
game,
reward.
it looks like that first half, right?
He
All
never
right.
takes his reward
Martinelli's finally healthy. We bring
and
him into a
stands with
game,
authority.
and we're like, where did he go? Where did
We're
he go?
getting
Never takes his
we're
reward and
getting
stands with authority.
contributions from everybody, though. I'm not telling you Havertz is scoring 20 goals this year. Trossard is not going to score 20. Martinelli's not. We're getting contributions from everybody, and it's okay right now. So, you know, it's happening, Stan, and it's okay. We're getting goals from Trossard, from Jesus, from Saka, from Odegaard,
But
everywhere. You know,
We needed 20
yeah,
goal
but
scorer.
say,
No matter what you
in
say,
saying that,
we need to have a 20 goal scorer. I
Saka
think
will
no
be
matter-
that one. Yes.
Yeah, no, but you know
In-
what?
in-
We got other. We need. Yeah, Saka's one, but I'm gonna be greedy here. But you know what I mean? So
right.
in saying that,
Lawrence, yeah.
saying that, I've got to question the referee on that
Oh.
decision at the end because
Well,
I've looked at it.
don't be jumping all over the place. We'll do this in a structured
Okay.
manner, right?
I'm sorry. All right.
have you not
All
been
right.
on the circle? We go in a. You know, we don't like
Oh,
it's not like this.
Well, no,
It's
we
like
do. It is the
this.
circle. Yeah, it is. It is
Okay.
the circle, but
think-
it's a
I
continuous
think-
circle.
Yeah, it's not called the Arsenal fan.
think
It's not called the
Tony-
Arsenal
I
fan
think
hexagon.
Tony has I think Tony has affected me.
Oh,
I think
no.
I'm becoming
You know
like
what?
Tony.
All
You know
right.
what? That is something you're gonna have to get checked out, and I
All
do
right.
believe
Yeah.
there's a shot you can take.
Rohan, let's
Arsenal fan
jump
oblong.
in first. Rohan, let's jump in first on the first Bayern goal. You were at the stadium. What did you see? Because, okay, you got to lay blame at somebody's feet, but there's about 3 players I'm blaming. The first one is David Raya. The second one is Gabriel. And the third one is Declan Rice. But it's a comedy of errors, right?
You know what?
Why Declan Rice?
You should say
Kiwior.
Kiwior is the first person.
Kiwior, right?
That's the reason why.
I do
every
mean-
No, the
breakdown-
first goal. The first goal.
Yes, the breakdown is because of Kiwior.
Okay, no, well, so I'll tell you what happened in the first goal, and I was behind the goal where they scored, right? And
Okay.
you know, they obviously they had a clearance. The ball bounced. Raya came way too high, right? So that was mistake number 1. He shouldn't have done that. right? If he didn't do that, Gabriel would have had an easy pass behind. Because he came up, Gabriel didn't have a pass behind. He tried to, instead of, I mean, he could have shielded the ball and waited till Raya gets in a position where he could pass back, but he tried to pass forward to Kivior. It wasn't even near Kivior. Kivior tried to stop the ball, but it was too far away from him. Sane got the ball. That is where Kivior should have just held on to Sane and brought him to the ground. That was the mistake that we made. After all of this, the mistake was that we weren't smart enough to just bring him down. We've just gone 1-0 up, right? Take the yellow card. We've got more left backs. We've got 3 left backs on the bench. Like, how many more do you need, right? Take the yellow card, ride it out till halftime. He got substituted anyway, right? So that is what happened, and then they just ran through us, right? 3 passes, Goretzka, Gnabry, and good finish. Maybe Raya could have done better. It went through his legs, but that's what happened. But these kind of things happen. Miscommunication hasn't been happening. I don't agree with what we were saying earlier, that Arsenal have defensively not been solid, or we concede with just 1 shot. Out of 11 Premier League matches that we've played this year, we've conceded in only 4, kept clean sheets in 7, right? And those 4 we've conceded 1 each, right? How much better can we be than that? So it was an off day. Let's accept that. But we've got to be smarter. We've got to play that dirty game that City also play and are so effective, right? One person goes, they foul. Those tactical fouls that obviously Partey knows from Atletico, and Kivior's he's too new to the game.
Yeah. Gary, let's we'll get into it then, based off of Rohan's comments and what my thoughts. Let me give you my thoughts first. Hold on, I'm going to give you my thoughts, and then you got the floor.
You just talked to me now. You want to butt in and take my shine?
I'd like to have an input in this as well, right? Of course, David Raya comes too high, and when he's trying to retreat back, you could have thought Gabriel could have given Raya the ball back. And Raya would have been running back toward his goal, but having the ball at his feet. That's one thing he could have done. Obviously, we play a lot with the out ball to Kivior. Kivior misses. He cuts the ball too much for Kivior. And then the intelligence of Goretzka to use the eagerness of Rice to use the press against him. In terms of Rice takes a step forward, and Goretzka has already made his run past Rice. And then you've got 2 vertical passes, and Bayern had that chance where Gnabry has come across. Ben White hesitates slightly, but I can't blame Ben White. He's actually been probably our best defender on the night. And then Gnabry wants to be fed more, Gary. But we lost that goal through an over the eagerness of trying to do things and be on the front foot, Gary.
It's one of those things where one of your teammates makes a mistake and then you double down on it and make another one. I mean, that's, as a defender, your first thought is you got to make sure this doesn't turn into anything bad. That's usually your first thought, right? Like, one of your teammates falls down, one of your teammates makes a lunge and loses it. We always have somebody there to clean it up but he was the guy to clean it up. And he didn't. He tried to. I mean, he's running the other way and he kicks it, like at a weird angle. He doesn't know where he's passing that ball. He sees him, but then you see him try to make that kick. It's not a controlled pass at all. No wonder it doesn't. I think it was between 2 of our players. They probably didn't even know it was for them. The way they hesitated and didn't jump at the ball. But I think as a defender, the first goal should have been, let's kill this because this is a mistake. My goalkeeper's off his line anyways. He's standing right behind me.
David Raya creates all of this.
Think about this. When we're attacking, we will pull out and set the ball and turn it and go back the other way. On defense, your goalkeeper's standing right next to you. What's the best thing you can do? Let's reset and then scream at my goalkeeper and say, what are you doing? and then set up for the next, for what's going to happen, right? But no, he tries to push you a little bit too more, and that's what a young defender is doing there. I think that's where it could have just been killed and just dead in the water at that point. It just once you start to break down the entire defensive structure, that's what you get. So we can pick out a lot of people's, but I think it should have died once he noticed his goalkeeper is next to him.
Right.
That's where it should have just stopped. Like if he like try to control the ball and then kicks it out. I know Kane is right on him, but
Right.
that's where you just live to fight another day, right? As I say, some people say when in doubt, just kick it out. It's better to kick the ball out and reset than it is to try something that might put your team in danger, in more issues, right? And that's what he did. So it's definitely Raya's fault to start, but we needed somebody with a calm head to just say, let's set this thing up, and then you scream at Raya, right? Because we see it all the time with a goalkeeper.
Yeah.
One of his defenders makes a mistake in front of him. He makes a really good save. He's like, yes, don't do that again. You know what I mean? That's what should have happened there. If that was Van Dijk, I have no doubt he's screaming at the goalkeeper, right?
You know what? That pass reminded me of Tomiyasu at the Emirates last season versus City.
Oh, Gary, yeah, Tomiyasu.
Yeah.
When he made that misplaced pass.
Yeah.
I
blame that one on not playing for a month.
He's a professional footballer.
He didn't play for a month, and then you're going to say, let's go play him at the Etihad.
Listen,
so he made the mistake, yes, but I feel like he was out of form because he hadn't played in like a month going in. Yeah. I remember that game because I'm like, wait a second, this guy's never played. We're bringing him in for that game. No, everybody was on that pitch had played before, so there's none of that in this game.
I think
brain fart, as they say.
Gary, I think you mentioned, we seem to lose goals and the silliest goals, but I think it's a gain versus it's a credit debit ledger in terms of the way we're trying to play. We get so much good stuff from the way we try to playing out, and a very, very small percentage of it, maybe 5% of it, you'll see resulting in a goal. And you think back to the goals we conceded. We conceded some horrible goals to Liverpool at home and to Brentford.
We gave up a goal on a corner kick to start the season, right? Against Fulham. We're up 1. Yep. We are kicking a corner kick or a free kick, and we give up a goal to tie that thing up.
Right. Don't go too far back in history.
No, but I don't. I'm good this season, right? So we do give up goals that should never happen, right?
Yeah. I agree with you for sure. Okay, Rohan's had a point on the goal. Gary's had his point. I've had my points. Stan, and then Lawrence. Stan?
Well, I didn't really get to see the game live. I was working.
All right. You seen the highlights?
Yeah, but the highlights are a bit skewed and all that, so I can't. I was gone. So
you didn't see the game?
He didn't want to be on the same list as Tony.
I know that. Look, Rohan, we all know that you were probably watching the game in the back of your stretch limo as you were cruising through downtown New York.
At the Emirates.
I was slogging away. Do you know what I mean? I was at work, mate. So, you probably up in the box, right? You're probably watching it on a big screen up there in a cozy director's box, sat next to Josh, telling Josh and the dude they need to bring in the summer.
Michael asked the question: is the same ref for the second game? I don't believe so. I think it's a different ref.
I think if there's a way,
I hope
probably done. He's probably done. He's done. He's not doing any more games.
Poor ref. He had his training wheels on for this game.
Can I ask a question? I mean, I watched the highlights and stuff, but I did watch quite a bit of the Man City Real Madrid game, which ended 3-3. Mm-hmm. And I have to be, and I've been quite excited about us being in the Champions League and getting to this stage, but I have to admit, I watched that game, and I have to put my hand on my heart. I thought to myself, we don't quite operate at this level.
Yeah.
I think
watching that game.
I think you're right.
I was watching that game and I was like, we're very good, but I'm not sure. I don't know whether it was because of who the two opponents were. A lot of factors can come in, players being up for certain fixtures. But I watched that game and I just thought to myself, these two teams are operating at a slightly different level. And as Gary always, You know, Gary always
There's
tells
levels
us.
to this.
There's fucking levels to this shit. All right, anyway,
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing. Gary says it a lot cleaner.
And
than I
look,
do.
I was thinking about asking you tonight, you know, do we want, of course, we probably want to go and win this quarterfinal because you have to be in it to win it. But as to Stan's point,
No, don't you dare say no. I don't want any experiences, Ray. No, none. I want to just go. Why can't we just go and win the thing? That's the plan,
Yeah.
right? Every
it's
year
going to
you're
be
go out
bloody
there and win
difficult,
something.
Gary. It's going to be bloody difficult.
No,
That's
you know
why
it
it
doesn't.
is.
You know what? So it's going to be easier next year,
Life is
right?
difficult,
No,
Ray.
it's not going to be any easier next year. All right. I would expect more teams in the Premier League to be better than they were this year, right? So no. I don't want to. I hate learn. We've been learning for the last 3 years. How about we just go ahead and just run through the tape and finish this thing off?
I just think it might be better to learn.
On the pitch, yeah.
I just think it might be better to have learned our lesson in the Premier League.
No.
You know, learn one thing at a time.
This whole, you know, what is it? It's better to have loved than lust. What is it? What is it? Better to have loved and lost.
Loved and
Fucking
lost.
Shakespeare over here.
Yeah, no, I don't want any.
Ophelia.
No. Let's just. You know what? Like I said, I hate having to learn.
What is it?
Let's ask Tony. Let's ask Tony. He knows all this stuff.
No, they're not. No.
Yeah.
Come
Tony's quite a bard.
I think that,
All right.
that we needed
Lawrence.
2 clear goals. We needed 2 clear goals here to have a chance at the Allianz, like a good chance at the Allianz.
Yeah.
We don't have that. It's a 50-50 chance really that we have to make it. I'd still
55-45.
maybe, you know, but that's the best odds that we've had in years, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
so let's go and do this stuff.
Go for it.
You
You
know, I
say
see
go
your
for it.
point. I see your point that, you know, 2 more games and those games are going to be either against Real or Manchester City, and both of them are going to be grueling. And we've got 7 finals to go in the league, so why don't we focus there? But 2 more games, man. Like we have to give ourselves a shot. Like, you know, there is
Rohan, you're playing Bayern, a City or Real Madrid twice, and maybe a Barcelona in the final. And you're not.
I mean, we
playing...
won't make it past the semi-final. I'm pretty confident of that, right? Like whoever we face, you know, I agree with.
Right.
With
Well, you have 7 games.
They're operating at a different level, right?
Yeah, and you have lower level of Tottenham and Man United, albeit away from home.
City, although we've beaten them 1-0 on aggregate over the 2 Premier League games that we've played.
Final, that's what it is.
But you know, really, like, I feel in the space of 2 weeks, if we were to play them at home and at the Etihad, I feel like they're gonna edge it. And they might not just edge it, they might win it comfortably. I have that feeling, right?
Yeah.
I'm still fearful of City. We had a defensive masterclass in the last one. We could have even grabbed it with if Trossard had squared the ball.
Yeah.
But you know, that's the level that City is at. And even if it's Real Madrid, you know, we all hype up City so much. And Real Madrid just showed that they're Champions League royalty. You know, however good we might be, they just turn it up a notch in the Champions League. So I feel like semifinals, even if we get to it, will be our ceiling, and that's fine. I'm going to be happy with that. The league is the priority, and that's also whether or not how good a chance that we have. I think out of the 3. We are 3rd favorite in that also.
Yeah, you know what? The reason why I don't like that thought process, that, you know what, it's the league and we'll just not really take the Champions League serious, is because we do that every time. Like, and that's why I complained last year that, guess what, we should be using the Europa League as a way to set our teams up in a mindset that, yes, you're going to play midweek and you're going to play weekends. Because that's what we're doing now, and I don't think we're just doing it for the first time when we could have just done it last year. You know, we didn't do it last year. We kind of rotated a lot, and teams don't do that. And I think for me, it's all about the preparation for it, so that when you go into these games, you've got a lot more experience playing in European games, And that's kind of where I felt like we should be. That's why I felt we should have done that last year. So this year it's not new. We've done this before. You've played a short, a game with 2-3 games, 2 or 3 days of rest, because that's what you're going to have to do. It doesn't get easier next year, all right? So I kind of felt like, that experience is
And
what
maybe-
we lost.
Yeah, and look, I think we've progressed from last season to this, and Michael said we've been good away this season anyway. And maybe going away from the expectation of the Emirates, it could help our game as well. Go out there and play our away game like we played at the Etihad.
I mean, if we're going to say Etihad is going to be tough, we've played there, right?
Yeah.
So that is some experience. Yes, it wasn't a Champions League in a Champions League match, but it was. I think City wanted to win that. I mean, we played them twice.
I think.
Right? So I kind of feel like I said, once again, we've played these types of teams, right?
I think the nerves have to get out of us pretty quickly. We felt the nerves in the first half of this game, and we have to shake those nerves off. Lawrence, are we blaming Raya for the first goal, or
Yes.
do we want Ramsdale back in?
I mean, as I said, Ramsdale would never have charged out of his box the way Raya did.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, Gabriel is partly to blame as well, as is Kivior. But when you're a keeper, you do not charge 30 yards out of your box when you've got a defender back there to help cover up the mess,
maybe he saw a beam.
Do you know what's crazy though? Remember the goal that we got against Liverpool, that second goal where Alisson, there's a high ball from our back line into Alisson, and when you play a ball into the fence like that and it starts to bounce, weird things can happen, and even professional footballers can make mistakes. And Alisson and Van Dijk make a mistake. We score a goal. We've turned the title race in our favor because we've taken 3 points off of Liverpool when it was a 1-1 game. And, something similar happened in this game. Bayern Munich profited from the uncertainty in our defenders because of a probing ball. And Bayern Munich were very good at it. And they used that against us for the rest of the first half, Stan. And this second goal they get, the penalty, it starts with Manuel Neuer flicking the ball up on his foot and lifting it over our press.
I didn't see
our
that.
Press. Harris is not our press standing in the box. Come on.
He was pressing the goalkeeper, Gary. He was there between the goalkeeper and the right back.
I wouldn't call that our press though.
That's our press. That's how we set up.
What worries me is that we gave Sane so much room to take the ball from one end of the pitch to the other. That's what worried me.
And that's kind of, I think there was a message at halftime to say, don't be afraid to take a yellow card at some point in the second half. Because Bayern were cutting right through us. And whatever you want to say about Harry Kane, he is very, very good at going deep.
I want to say a lot about Harry Kane, but
we will get there. We will get there. He's very good at going deep. He's got the football acumen to be able to find.
He's even better at backing into players when both feet are off the ground. He's very good at that.
All right,
he's good with his elbow as well.
We will. All right. Does anybody think that he did not intend to do that? I think we're all in agreement then.
I don't think anybody. I don't even think Harry Kane would tell you, no, I didn't mean to do that.
There is a premier. He's come up against Gabriel Magalhaes on a few occasions, and
I watched the replay, and early in the game they were going at each other. There was a lot of back and forth between them. That was just Harry Kane's turn to get back at Gabriel. So
if the roles had been reversed, Ray, if Gabriel had done that to Harry Kane, would have been down to 10 men.
Yeah, no doubt. I don't know if Rohan was able to key in on that battle or see some of that live.
Yes. I think it was a battle that was going on through the game, and we controlled Kane pretty well. He dropped in, and of course his passing is we know how good he is, and he can operate at a 10 as well, and he did his business. But that was a clear red card for me. He does that thing like Stan said, right? He's good at backing into players when they're jumping, and he would have broken somebody's neck, right? And here he has a glance at him, doesn't even go for the ball, and just straight up elbows Gabriel. That's what happened, and Gabriel was lying on the floor for a good couple of minutes, right? That's what happened. It was a red card.
It reminds me of an incident. It reminds me of an incident way back ago. Paul Davis, he smacked Glenn Cockrell. He smacked Glenn Cockrell of Southampton in the face and broke his jaw. And he retrospectively he got an 8-game ban for doing exactly the same thing.
Yeah, definitely. I remember that one, Lawrence. Stan, we've seen the replays. The ball is nowhere near either player, and the action has happened. Harry Kane has looked at his referee. He does take a note of where the referee is as well. The referee is on this side of him, and the opposite side is where the elbow comes. He also, in that motion, takes a look over his shoulder and sees Gabriel coming. So he knows roughly where Gabriel is going to be, that he can make that contact on him.
See, I didn't see it, but I'll take your word for it. And it sounds like Harry Kane.
It happens.
Like
I mean, you didn't see it, Stan, but you've seen it numerous times before. It's not the first time he's ever done something like this.
Stan, you sound like Arsene Wenger. I didn't see it.
Look,
Rohan, the inexperience of this referee, because he's probably taken some group games, but this was his first knockout stages and probably the highest profile UEFA Champions League game that he's taken. Do you think the referee was deficient in some areas of the game?
Maybe in some, but he let us go big time for another incident, which I think was the right call to make. But he made that call, so you can't really blame him, right? And since Stan has not seen it, let's narrate what has happened in that incident, which is that it was our goal kick. The referee blew the whistle. Raya took a kick sideways to Gabriel. Gabriel, as he does, lifts the ball and kicks it back to Raya, which was a handball because the referee had already blown his whistle before Raya took that kick to Gabriel, and the referee did not award a penalty there. And when Tuchel asked him why he didn't, he told him that he wasn't going to. It was a schoolboy error, and he wasn't going to award a penalty in a Champions League quarterfinal for that. So big up to him for doing that, right? By the letter of the law, it was a penalty. But common sense, like Bayern had no advantage in that. Probably Gabriel didn't hear the whistle or whatever it is. It could have very well been a penalty. We would have. And there was nothing that we could have done about it. So he applied in sense,
Yeah, we were lucky, and the game had gone by, and I didn't really even notice that because I was caught up in the game. Do you think did people notice that in the stand?
No, not in the. I didn't know it until I came out that it happened, and then I saw the video because I was still fuming about the Saka penalty that had just happened before he blew.
Wait, hang on, David Raya kicked the ball to Megalegs, and then Megalegs picked the ball up and kicked it back.
It was live ball, and he picked it up. Like they were positioning.
Usually,
why do you think the goalkeeper kicked him the ball then?
No, but usually Raya will punch it to him.
Yeah.
In this instance, because they showed, you can see it on Twitter. That's exactly every time they do that. He gets the ball out to Gabriel. Gabriel stops it and then kicks it back to him to start the game. Our movement and stuff like that. One of the things that I also thought was, referees will look at the way the game is being played and then go, oh, that's just kind of how the game is played by this team, right? If they know a team's going to be leaving their leg in and trying to get a little bit something on the players, sometimes they just let it go because it's consistent. It's not out of character. It's not something that they don't do, right? Because we see it all the time. One team will come out really aggressive and nothing really gets called, right? And then the other team decides to respond, be it, in this case, Arsenal. We've seen it many times. First foul, yellow, right? Because we don't do that, right? That's not our style of play. Other team is beating us up all day. They make a judgment call, and I was listening to somebody, and I know this from refereeing basketball. It's up to the officials to decide how to implement certain rules. They can make a judgment call and say, you know what? It wasn't that bad. And I think that's what he did. And I think he then turned around when I don't know why he said this to Tuchel, that he meant he should have called it. Because in the instance, he didn't, right?
No.
And I think he did that on purpose. I think he did it on purpose. I think he did it on purpose.
If it is the other way around.
He said that I wasn't going to call it anyway because that was a schoolboy error.
Childish mistake.
Whatever he wants to call it, but by the letter of the law, if this had happened to us, we would be fuming.
Yeah. Like I said, I just think it's the way. I think it's the way he was refereeing the game and decided, you know what, it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Or you could think, and we'll jump right to the end here, or you could think that the end of the game, that is, or you could think that he did not want to be part of a high-profile situation in a high-profile quarterfinal in the Champions League. And
there is another option.
Controversial call, yeah.
Maybe the referee's a gooner.
Well, he would have given us a penalty.
Then why did he give the penalty at the end?
For Saka.
Or why did Kane walk away with just an orange, you know?
Yes.
Why didn't he get
That's an orange. Red? That's an orange card. They better bloody well bring in orange cards then, because I'm tired of commentators saying it's orange to justify the veracity of something that happened. Okay. The last action. We'll it's the circle, but we'll jump around, right? We'll go to the last action of the game. The House of Pain. Last action of the game. Thomas Partey finds a beautiful pass inside the fullback and the defender. There's probably a little bit of pace on it, too much pace on it for Saka, but he's going hell for leather to get onto this pass. And at first I thought, you fall for the commentator, Rohan, and you say, oh, he left his leg in. But then you hear people who are running at that pace and you're trying to almost cut at 90 degrees. And we can take American football into this as well, because you do need to do that. Your right leg has that action where it can stick out. And for me, Neuer is very clever because he does plant his foot halfway across Saka's intended path. So how do we break this down, Rohan?
To be honest, so this happened right in front of me, but it was so Neuer's back was towards us. So I didn't see the action actually happening, in terms of the contact. But then I saw it a couple of times as soon as I left there. Initially, I thought that there was no penalty because all the angles that we were seeing were slow-mo, right? And in slow-mo, it felt like Saka was taking the leg and sticking it out to make contact. First of all, even if he did, Javi Elliott got a penalty for the same thing over the weekend. So that was the exact same thing, right? And when you watch it in real time, like the real speed footage, then you see that Saka had cut the ball the way he doesn't arch his back when he's going down. So he wasn't intending to go down the way Harry Kane does. And he was trying to jump out to get to the ball because he had cut the ball at a 90-degree angle. And the only way he could do that was to get his right foot in front, right? And that's when the contact was made. So the problem, I think, is that people try to analyze this on slow-mo and try to then dig out what the intent is. but while you should be watching it in full speed, and when people are operating at those speeds, then contacts happen, and for me it was a penalty.
Yeah. At first, I fell for he swung his foot into the goalkeeper. He's looking for it. Gary, they're going to say he's looking for it. Rival fans and
You know
commentators
what?
going to say he's looking
You can
for it.
hear different thoughts on this one. I think the tie should go to the attacker. I mean, because he does make a play to switch. I don't know how a player is supposed to touch the ball away from the path of the goalkeeper, get his left leg going in that direction, and then try to bring back his right leg all in the same motion, and it not look like, because he's going towards him anyway. So if Neuer didn't come out and stick that leg out the way he did to kind of stop him, right? Because he's trying to stop the path of the,
He plants his foot.
attacker,
Yeah.
right? He has no choice but to do that. He's like, no, you can't come through here. So there's going to be contact. I think it should go to Saka, but you know what? I mean, we're gonna say, it goes both ways, I guess, because we could have easily got a penalty on the other side. So it's kind of like it's a wash in that sense to some degree.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think that
The only difference is, though, Gary, that Bayern Munich had no advantage in that position.
No. I get why they didn't get called, but I mean, like for me, we should have got, because if we didn't get the red card on Harry Kane, something should have fell to us, and it didn't.
I'm just talking on the merits of the play itself. It was a penalty, and I don't know whether VAR happened or not, because he blew the whistle.
He said,
The official looked at it. He's looking right at it.
And
the only thing is he can't see. I don't think he can see through Saka to see where Neuer is, to know that Neuer actually did move in the direction of the attacker. To know, he can see that. There's no way he can look, at that split second. He can look through Saka and then go, no, Saka actually decided to get hit by a goalkeeper coming at him. So I don't think he could see that. And that's where VAR should come in. That's where it shouldn't be yes, you said no, it's not there. That's where he should review it, because you can't see that. You can't see the
I don't know if they showed it on TV, but Saka went down, and I thought, the way he went down and he was calling for the bench, it seemed like he had broken his foot or something. I mean, I was worried for 2 minutes, and then he got up and hobbled his way to the halfway line, and then sprinted to the referee.
Right after the ref,
and then did they show that? Because
it's called running it off, Rohan. It's called running it off.
And then we saw.
And then he had to be stopped.
We are hard on our. You're not necessarily hard on our players, but we see that all the time. When's the last time you've not seen Arsenal foul a player? They go down, their leg is broken. It's like hanging by a thread, and when nothing is called, right? They get up, and then the game's on.
And our VAR checks are
that he didn't get hurt, but what I found, I was very worried for Saka, and then what I found funny was that he after that he did hobble his way till the halfway line, and then he sprinted because the referee was getting away. And then
he stayed in character for a while, hobbling. He was really in character.
Yeah.
Back in the day, a man would have run on with a bucket and a magic sponge, would have rubbed it on his leg, and then he'd been fine.
Yeah, because there was only one sub back in the day as well. Stan,
I mean, Saka did get beat up in that game.
Yeah,
and I think it was early in the first half or early in the second half. He he took a foul. I don't know it was a foul, but I think there was a coming together, and he got up limping.
Coming together.
So I think it was in the second half when that happened, but. Yeah, no, he gets beat up, but for me, he needs to punish the other side, because he's getting beat up anyways. Why don't you just go ahead and score on them? You know what I mean? Punish them as much as they're punishing you.
He went after the referee.
Stan, do you want to? Did you probably didn't see the incident? Maybe you saw it later.
No, I'm not. Again, I heard about this incident, a penalty thing, and I watched highlights, and it didn't really show it at all on the highlights that I found. So I just heard it. So what is it? You got some people are saying that he dived and played for a penalty, and you got other people saying it was a penalty. Is it one of those?
Yep.
Well,
Exactly.
Well, I didn't see,
That's
I
what I'm
didn't see it,
hearing.
right? I'm
Like
just-
every penalty.
yeah,
I didn't see it. Yeah, basically, yeah. I've just described every
Expert
penalty.
analysis.
Yeah, I didn't see it. But
commentator speak is like it was a bang bang play. They had it coming together. Oh, he's hung his leg out there. He's looking for it. You know all the things they say on television.
Yeah, the goalkeeper was had stopped, which is true. Goalkeeper had stopped, but he didn't move towards him. I mean,
Just run.
if you're looking at it, a goalkeeper is not even running at a dead sprint, right? So of course he's going to stop before the attacking player who has to adjust to get out of the way. All right.
Yeah.
So I think it was it.
I think what Neuer has done, he's done enough to make it be a 50-50 decision.
No.
See,
Now you're giving a benefit of the doubt to the goalkeeper. I don't like
that's what
it.
happened. That's what happened.
No, thank you.
Right,
You
I didn't
must
see it,
play.
and I don't like
You must
it
be a
either,
Bayern
so.
Munich fan. All right, or you're just really upset because of Liverpool today. Which one is it?
I'll tell you what. I think I want to say something about Liverpool. Yes, I think Mikel Arteta can be. People can complain about Mikel Arteta about binning off competitions. I think Liverpool have realized they're in a real stretch to get to the Premier League summit, and they need to use their squad. And they made 6 changes today, and they disrespected the competition at the quarterfinal stage.
Sickness,
What happened to them? Are they out of what? What happened to Liverpool today?
3-0 defeat at Anfield in the first leg to Atalanta.
I thought
Exactly.
they had injuries or sickness, though.
Yeah.
I don't think it was all.
We want them to
just
stay in, though.
players.
Really, we want them to stay in. We want them to play as many games as they have to play, right?
Yeah, I think that's what we want. But I actually feel Jurgen Klopp put aside out. He's not bothered about the Europa
So you're not
League
calling him out like people call it Arteta.
I just did.
When Arteta, no, that's not even close to.
I told you
there's
he
no
binned
visceral
off
in that at all.
He
It
binned
doesn't
off
even
the
sound like
competition.
you're not belittling him or anything like people do to Arteta.
I just did.
When he
Rohan,
takes the foot off the gas in the domestic cups.
Gary Gary kept the fight tonight.
I'm ready. Yeah. That's
We had our fight
I know Klopp.
Tommy
I know Klopp's
Asu
your
at Man
manager
City.
and all.
Sounds
but,
like Gary's channeling Tony.
Wow. Now you know what? No. Stan,
You're the one that went back to September.
That right there. That comment.
Gary, you're the one that went back to last year. You talked about.
You've made it, son. You've made it.
Rohan, you better get yourself on this list, Rohan. You better do something.
I'm the one that has the list. I'm the one that has this fucking list. It's my list.
Yeah.
You should write your name on it because that comment right there.
Rohan needs to do something
This is a
to get on the list.
Now he also has a list. Everybody
Right,
has their own list.
I think the fog descended upon the Emirates, and we had a little bit of a haze, and we lost 2 goals as a consequence of it. We had a crazy 20-minute spell where Bayern showed their quality against us. Rice, our midfield was not settled. Our back four was not settled outside of Ben White. Saliba makes a mistake for a penalty, but after Jorginho and Gabriel didn't get there. And as you said, Rohan, you can't let Leroy Sané, a Rolls Royce of a player, run at you like that. And that's some things that Mikel Arteta he's got a short week, but some of the days have to be spent on what we're going to do in Germany.
Of course, and right now, I think not that he's match available, but Timber is also back. So why is it significant? Not that he's going to play, is that every single player now is available. I'm not saying put him there. He's not available. Let's just assume he's not
available. Said it.
Right?
You open the door. You're going to make the list, Rohan.
What I'm trying to say is that every player other than Timber is available to Arteta. There's zero.
That's better.
That's what I wanted. That's the point that I was trying to make.
Yeah.
Not the
list.
Now,
Thomas Partey, do you think he's getting more and more minutes? Do you think he's ready for a starting role in Germany?
I think he should first start on the weekend.
Okay.
Right. And who knows if we go through, and Rice and Havertz are 1 yellow away from a suspension. in the.
Those are the two. Yeah, Havertz and
Who-
Rice
who-
are on.
Right,
Yes.
and who are you talking about?
But I think
Who should start this weekend?
Partey.
Partey.
No, you know what? I just watched that replay of the Saka, the controversy.
Penalty. Yeah.
Who makes that pass on our team? Besides Erdegaard,
Partey.
right? Besides
Odegaard.
That's the only-
Odegaard.
And you know what? Erdegaard was
And
a little
White.
busy in that game. But I just
Jorginho.
Partey can make
Jorginho.
that. No, but I'm just saying, Partey, I think can make that. Yeah,
Ramsdale.
stop it. We want
Ramsdale.
Partey in anyways, right? Stop it. Stop adding names to the
Ramsdale's
list.
dad can do that.
Yeah.
Ramsdale's dead.
Yeah.
I mean,
You know what, I think
I
because if you think
really
about it, in
like
the early-
Ramsdale.
what's-
I
yeah.
actually went up there, when they were warming up, and I was like, "Come on, Rambo," and all of that, right? Like, and it was great.
Shameless.
But this debate is over. He's done for. Like,
Oh
that's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Even
Right.
the mainstream media has given up on that debate.
yeah, yeah. All right. So we talked about all the bad stuff, but we had some good stuff, right? We glossed over Bukayo Saka's first goal.
I saw that.
What an
Nice.
amazing, huh?
I saw that. That was nice.
Oh, you saw that? Okay.
Let's start.
A great goal.
It's just it's a very carbon copy. I mean, it's called so many goals that look very similar to that, right? You could like stop it, cut it out, put another bit of film in, and put him in, and it will be looking kind of really similar. It's almost a bit like a Robin move, like some players have their move. Do you know? Some players have that
what I
move
said,
that they have.
right next to me that we pulled a Robin on them. When he scored that goal, and but the real amazing part of that was the pass that Ben White makes. Talking about the pass, Ben White makes that pass, which is perfectly weighted, that Saka doesn't have to take a touch. He just goes in and pulls it in, and that was the amazing part. And we did that through the high press, right? That's how we won the ball back there.
And
created
Eric,
I hate the extra touch in the box.
Yeah, I was seeing a stat that number of touches leading to goals in the box, and when you have 80% of the goals, or like a crazy high percentage of the goals were when you had the first
Hi, Lawrence.
one touch finish, or then the second one was obviously one touch stop and then finish.
Definitely.
And then after that, it's dramatically less.
Yep.
Because the teams just sets in.
Yep.
That's just how the game is.
I think we would have higher percentage of goals if we didn't take that extra touch, because sometimes we let the defense get in and it's always blocked. You see how many block shots we get? That's because of the extra touch there. So no, I strongly believe in the. You know what? Just shoot it. You know what? They put in a really good pass.
take
Don't
the
kill
shot,
it
Bond.
by stopping the ball.
Gabriel Jesus is often guilty of that, taking too many touches before shooting. You get a lot more goals.
So you lead us up perfectly. We talked about Bukayo Saka, 8 goal involvements in the Champions League now. I think he's only 2 or 3 behind Thierry Henry in the competition. So if we do get to that glamorous semi-final tie, Bukayo Saka.
How about you just do it? How about why do we have to wait to the semifinals? How about we just do it in Germany?
Because
okay?
they're
no. See, you are acting like a small club. How about we wait till the next? No, let's just do it. Why don't you just break the record? Get your trifecta of goal contributions in Germany, because that's what he came here for, right? He came here to do exactly that, right?
Yeah.
He wasn't getting a chance to do it at City. You come into Arsenal. Guess what? We need 3 goals and a nice easy win. Right?
No, we need 5. 5-1.
Forget about that photographer. Put Gary in the dressing room right now.
5-1.
Listen, Ray, we talk to Gary, man. You best come correct.
Gary.
Yes, sir.
Gary, he's
Yes,
upset because Liverpool lost today.
I know he is. He's all red all over the place right there.
Listen,
when Ray's not on the podcast, he actually speaks in a Scouse accent.
I respect Liverpool because they are
Hey,
non-plastic.
nice
I am
stuff,
non-plastic, okay?
All
I'm
right.
non-oil-rich clubs. So there you go. But I am happy, and I told Gary, I think Klopp pinned off the competition tonight.
You
And
know what? He can do that, but it's not. I don't think it's going to make it any easier in the league. They're not playing like pushovers in the league, so it's going to still be tough no matter how much time they have. I mean, is their defense going to get better because of that? Is Nunez going to make shots because they're not playing in the Champions League, right? The one good thing they have is Jota is back, right? That's the one thing they have, which I don't like. But otherwise, nothing. Trent is not back yet. I don't think so. Yeah.
All right.
I don't think Liverpool are dropping any points in the league.
You don't think so?
Really, Rohan? They got to go to Fulham. They've got to go to West Ham, and they have to go.
We scored 6
past
West Ham.
Everton. We did, yeah, but that doesn't mean they're going to score 6.
They're not Arsenal, man. They're not Arsenal. Come on.
Every game is different,
Come
Rohan.
on. Give us something. Come on.
Rohan, there is something to this result. I think they are suffering a little bit of a downward spiral from the 2-2 game at Old Trafford.
Where they had to lose it, or if they win the league, where they won the league is the Forest game. In that Forest game, when so if you remember, what had happened was that Forest should have had the ball back because this guy Konate fell in the ground, but instead they gave it to Liverpool. And they scored in like the last touch of the game. Nunez scored the header, right? Those 2 points that they have gained is such a massive 2 points that is, and then they gained the 2 points again with the dive, 1 point rather with the dive. So these are the moments that are going for them. Definitely, I think
we've had similar, Rohan.
I mean, overall we've deserved our wins.
Every team is going to win it. Every team is going to win a game in the dying moments.
No, of course, we won it at Luton in the last minute, right? And Brentford twice, in fact, we've done it right at the right? Like we've done that. But, I mean, we have to go away to United. We have to go away to Spurs. We have to play Chelsea at home. We have to play Wolves, Aston Villa at home this weekend. Hopefully they're out of form, but who knows, right? And what is going to pinch is the fact that we did so well against all of our rivals. I mean, 4 points against City, 4 points against. If we did that last season, 4 points against City, we would have won the league, right? Yeah. And this season, we're potentially, if we don't win it, it's because of 1 point against Fulham, right? The loss against West Ham, that ball that went out or didn't go out against Newcastle. Like these are the games that are counting against us, right? And that is, I mean, it hurts.
But Rohan,
but Liverpool have only got one. Liverpool and City only 1 point against us. Yeah.
Hold on. You ever seen the film Heat when Pacino and De Niro are having that chat in the bar for the first time across? And Rohan just done the first bit, and he goes, "On the flip side of that coin, that's me now. On the flip side of that coin, if we win all of our games to the end of the season and continue to score a frequency of goals, we've won it."
I mean, if we win all of our games 1-0, also we'll still win the league, right? It doesn't even need to be.
It's really possible now.
Dependent on Liverpool's goal difference.
I mean, when I say it's possible, I know there's some dangerous fixtures coming up, but we have seen our team go invincible before, right?
So invincible with 12 draws, right? I think what is going to become more and more difficult is that when we go to a Spurs away or when we go to Old Trafford on the second last game of the season, they've got nothing to play for, but they'll know that Arsenal have everything to play for, and they're going to sit back and try to counter us, If they had something to play, right, then it would have been an even contest, and I would have said that we are massive favorites in those.
I actually
But
think the
fact that
Tottenham
they
game is
failed-
more dangerous than the Man U one.
Sorry.
I actually think the Tottenham game is more dangerous.
Yeah, of
fixture
course
than
it is.
Man U.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But again, though, this is that kind of fixture that, as much as we have been laughing all season at Man United for their downfall, and laughing at Ten Hag, this is a team that can still pull a result out of the bag. And as Rohan said, they'll have nothing to play for. They're not. It's not like they're a Luton.
Who are we talking about? Man
They
United?
do have Man United. They do have players in their team that can do things.
Yeah.
I think.
You know what I mean?
think
They
will.
have quality players. They have a Garnacho.
Yeah,
Rashford can do something on his day, even though he's been shit all season. But he can still have
Especially
a
on the
good game,
counter,
right?
right? That's what their game is. That's what that suits us. That suits them, right? And they can expect that we will come on the second last game of the season if we are desperate for that win. If I were any of their coaches, I'd be like, the onus is on them to win. Just sit back, you'll get your chances.
Yeah.
I was reading today as well that the Man United fixture has been moved from the Saturday now to the Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday.
So we've got an extra day.
We knew it would be, yeah. And look, if you had told me at the start of the season, you as an Arsenal fan will go to Manchester United with a chance to win the league, I'd have taken that.
No, listen,
Win at Old Trafford.
Sorry, listen, Ray. Like, I feel that however this season ends, right? The fact of the matter is that, and whoever, let's say Manchester United have gone ahead, right? They're probably going to lose against whoever. Actually, they'll go to the final and then they'll lose against City, or maybe Chelsea can have a dreadful season and go up and win the FA Cup, whatever. But the fact of the matter is that I wanted us to be competing. We are in the quarterfinals of the Champions League with a chance in the second leg. It's not like it's a dead rubber game. We've got 7 games to go, like a month to go in the league, and we are top of the league and we are competing. I couldn't ask for more than that. Of course, I want us to go ahead and win, but and maybe we do that, right? This has been the trajectory of the team, right? We had a chance to get into the Champions League spot 2 years ago,
Yep.
and we messed it up, right? I wouldn't say we bottled it, but we messed it up. Defeats to Newcastle and Spurs, etc. And we finished 5th. Last season we had a chance, we had that lead to win the league, and we didn't do it, right?
Yep.
This year, maybe we take that one extra step and we can win it. But I wouldn't be surprised. I'm still putting Arsenal as third favorite in that. Liverpool for me is the favorite. City, having done it so many times before, and their fixtures are easy. The only fixture that they have, which I'm counting on, is the Spurs away game, because they've got a dreadful record at Spurs.
So you don't think that they can drop points at Brighton?
I saw Brighton play. They're not dropping points.
Right. The Spurs game is at Anfield. It's not at White Hart Lane. It's at Anfield.
Yeah.
No. Spurs City.
City.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Yeah.
Spurs.
No,
But with the informed team, if you look at the last 5 fixtures, between us, Liverpool, and Man City, we've drawn 1. The others have drawn 2.
Yeah.
So these are the fine margins, right?
I actually think City are our biggest rivals right now. It's not Liverpool for me.
But these other two teams,
I don't see Liverpool getting 9 points from Fulham, West Ham, and Everton.
Oh, wow.
I don't see that.
The other two
happening.
teams, to me, seem more likely to drop a point and get draws where they shouldn't.
So, yeah, Liverpool, I can get behind that one, but City will be. We have to think City could win each and every game in the league.
Yeah. Except for Spurs away, I think they can win all of their games.
But that will be the Wednesday before the final game, Tuesday or Wednesday before the final game.
Yeah.
It'll be rescheduled for much like Brentford, I believe, last season. when they had to go to Brentford.
We can't be counting on Spurs, and again, I think we did count on Spurs once, if when we wanted them to do the job against Manchester United like all these years ago, and they absolutely bottled it, right? Like, and that's what they're going to do. The only thing that we can do is win all of our games, and if we do, then
that's it.
Then that's it.
Yeah.
Well, as I've been saying all year, what is it? Next important game. The most important game is what?
The next one.
All right. So coming up is Aston Villa. So they had a good.
I still say it could come down to goal difference.
I don't know if that happens, because that requires us losing a game and City drawing a game.
No, if we and Liverpool win all of our matches, it'll be on goal difference.
Well, let me ask you this, Rohan. You have Arsenal as third favourites. Who do you have as second favourites?
City.
So you think Liverpool have the upper hand over City right now?
Oh my God!
I think Liverpool will finish third, Rohan.
What's your Arsenal is finishing first?
I got to put my Arsenal hat inside Arsenal first.
Careful where you'll be kicked out the Liverpool supporters club.
I'm going to say another thing about Liverpool. They could do exactly what Manchester United did last year. They could finish third with only a Carabao Cup to show for it. And listen, I said Man United.
How would that make you feel? How would that make you feel?
I said, man, I'd be happy. I'd be happy because
be happy as a Liverpool supporter.
Then we have a 50-50 chance.
We'll take that.
We need to just wheel this back just a little bit. We just need to wheel this back a minute. Hold on, Rohan. You've not been here for a while. It's a long time since since you frequent these parts. But Rohan, do you know what happens when you come onto the podcast?
Oh.
Do you know what happens when you come onto the podcast and you start saying things like you just said in your last comment that I am not even going to repeat? You know what happens? Do you? You just made your list.
I get the sample.
You're as they say, you're betting.
It's not like I said that I want them to win and I want us to finish third. Sure. I just said in probability terms. Oh my God!
You made the list.
Is my name on there?
You're on.
I saw my name as well.
Your name's on.
Yeah, look, Rohan. I know you're going head over heart on that one, but
I'm just telling you what my probability, the probability I think, but possibly Arsenal are going to win. Arsenal, at the beginning of every season, I look at the fixture table, and except for like a couple of draws here or there, I feel like we're going to win like 35 matches, right? Like that's how I feel every season, right?
Yeah.
And that's how I felt when we were going up against, because just before we played Aston Villa, City had played and lost, right, in December. And I thought that that's a massive chance for us to get the lead. And then when we were playing against Fulham, I thought that. When we were playing against West Ham, I thought that, right? And I'm not saying that this is a team, even if they don't end up winning, I'm not saying that they're just that it's a difficult run of fixtures. And you're saying, and tell me this. You are basically saying that in the last 18 matches of the Premier League, Arsenal will win 17 and draw 1. If they told you that on January 1st, how likely would you think that was going to be? That's the task that you're asking the team to accomplish.
You know what? Yes. That's the problem, though. You're looking at the next 7 games. I can't look that far. Yeah. You know why?
No.
Because it's not. We don't have that.
Just win one more.
We don't have that in our roster. We're not that type of team that can even think about looking past the next game. That's why Villa is the next game. And I think for me, I've been taking since December when we went in that 3-game losing streak. I'm like, just win the next one, please. All right, let's stop the rot. Let's just win the next one, and then we'll play it by ear. Win the next one after that. And guess what?
You know,
And
we've
winning them,
managed to maneuver ourselves into that first place. You know, last season we had this record, didn't we, of being like, was it 250 million days on top of the league or whatever, but not winning it. You know, which means nothing at the end of the day, really. It's like, well, who cares about that record? But you know, this season we've managed to just get our whiskers in front. But we are also behind that, though. Behind that, we've also been the team that has consistently been the team that is scoring more and letting less in. And fundamentally, you know, if aliens landed on Earth and they said, like, tell me basically what football is, I ain't got long. You'd be like, well, basically, it's about scoring more and not letting people score against you. And that's it. We're doing that. If we can maintain that, maybe that's that bit of quality that we can have, because I really think that Liverpool look vulnerable to dropping points. They've won some games and drawn some games where it looked to me like another 5 minutes on the clock, you weren't getting 3 points. You weren't.
I mean, think about it. Our worst.
Feel that luck runs out at some point. At some point, you can't keep doing that. You know, at some point you get found out by 60, 70, 80 minutes.
We saw it at Old Trafford. Let's
just say basically one of our worst defensive games is at Luton. That's our worst defensive game. One of our worst, if not our worst defensive game, was at Luton. That's how freaky and weird this season is. So, you know,
I understand.
I thought we were poor last week against Luton as well, just to be satisfied with the 2-goal victory.
Well, that was a fixture where everybody needed to do it in second gear a little bit to be ready for this schedule, this grueling schedule that's coming. You know? Yeah,
but I mean, do you think Manchester City are going to only score 2 goals against Luton at the weekend? I don't think so.
No, but they'll score. They've been scoring 2 goals against some people. You know, so they listen. Man City.
Our defense is good enough, I believe, to where
Man City,
2 goals is more than enough to beat any team. I mean, so I feel like you know what? Yes, maybe we don't score tons of goals, but we have a much solid defense when they're on. And they've been on most of the season, so. Yeah.
Man City and Liverpool are looking at the table now and saying we have to improve our goal difference because of what Arsenal have done, and we have to do it in 7 games. You know, so Arsenal, yes, we would have wanted more goals against Luton, Lawrence, but that's what happened. We scored 2, and we need to score more against Aston Villa. I get what you're saying, Rohan. To do this thing, we would have to have won 17 out of 18 games. I understand what you're saying. But these are the levels again that Man City and Liverpool have put down as a marker, and we're trying to hit those levels. And like Stan says, if an alien came down, or, you know, if you told your friend on the street a team has won 11 and drawn 1 of their last 12 games or whatever it is, they'd probably tell you, oh, that's Man City, right? And you'd be like, no, Liverpool did that. Or Arsenal did that. Sorry. Oh
my God.
No, Arsenal did it. But so the other thing, Rohan, is that we have got 4 home games and 3 away games. The other 2 teams have more away games than us, so that's maybe a factor in our favor as well, you know. But Aston Villa have won their Europa League game tonight, and so we have 2 extra days of rest ahead of Sunday's game. So, how are you feeling for Unai Emery coming into the Emirates?
See, you know, these guys, they're in a slump, right? Aston Villa, they're getting spanked left, right, and center. And I would expect us to win. You know, weird things happen in football, but this is a game we put in a very less than par performance in our last 10 games, which was against Bayern. So I'm hoping for a win now, and a resounding win. That's what I'm hoping.
So
That's what I'm
resounding
expecting.
win. Is it 3-1? Resounding win? 2-0?
I mean, it's a 2 or 3-0.
2-1 with a performance, right?
Not conceding. Not conceding.
conceding.
2 or 3-0.
Okay.
We just,
Welcome, Alonso.
we just gave up 2 goals in a terrible fashion. Hopefully the defense is like not again.
Does
I would consider that to be an off day, right? Our XG conceded also has been so low. It's been in 11 matches. It's been actually 4 or something. The number of goals that we have conceded. It's not like we've conceded an XG of 10 and we've only conceded 4. So we're actually not giving any chance to the opponent, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
Chef.
Yeah, Gary, how we feeling? Okay, we have something to address.
And can I just say that for those people that are watching, we will be after the show in the comments. We will be leaving a link to Lawrence's recipe later on, so that you can do it yourself.
I'll send you a picture of it.
Some kind of a steak and pasta dish, I think it might have been. I'm not
With
sure.
Salisbury steak and potatoes.
Potatoes. Okay.
No.
All right. Yes, the link will be at the end of the show, people.
With the full recipe, ingredients,
Gary.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We have something to address on Sunday. We have to get this nervous. We can't let this nervous thing grow bigger on Sunday. If it was just Champions League, that's it. That's fine. But we have to return to Premier League action and act like it.
Well, I think the second half of the last match is basically, is how we responded, right?
Sugar, yeah.
I think we played much better in the second half, and I think that's a good sign, right? We had a really bad half to start in that first half of that game. Second half, I think it was more to what I believe Arteta wanted to get out of the game, and we're going to have to continue that on. I mean, Villa did win. I think they won 2-1.
They won 2-1 against Lille. Yeah.
So they're not coming in on a win.
Yeah.
Not really good in the league, but I think our second half was really good, and I think we just used that to build on for the next match and to continue what we've been doing all along. It's a home match, right?
Yep.
So the fans should be up for that one. We should be, they get nothing, right? They get nothing and they like it. That's what we should do.
They get nothing and they like it. That's where we'll agree, Gary. We disagree on some things, but we'll agree on that one.
Yeah. We need to get some people. Like I think we need to give Partey as many minutes as we can to see where he's at, because I think that he starts out a little slow and then he kind of warmed up later, right?
Yeah.
So
I
was telling you going into
Partey. Partey was funny because, as Rohan said earlier, he took a great yellow card for the team.
Yep.
So you have to commend him for that. He looked annoyed that he had to do it, but I don't think he was going to either wanted to chase the player back or, was ready.
I think at that point, what, they get nothing. That's the whole point of the whole thing is you get nothing. Even when you think you got something, we say no, and that's exactly
how
what
can I agree with you more than I already agreed with you?
Yeah, no, you have to agree with me more. That's how this thing works.
And then Partey makes a bad header for the Coleman chance that hits the post. So that's a negative against Partey. But right at the end, he creates that wonderful pass for Saka. So we just hope that Partey can get more and more into the rhythm of the game.
The way that build-up was for that play was perfect, because that's something we don't see much from Rice, right? I mean, when he's put in that position, I mean, Partey gets it. I think the one thing is we hide in that. If you look a lot of times, that middle of the pitch sometimes is barren. There's no red shirts in there, and Partey's happy to go in there, and that's kind of easy. Gets in there and is able to break split lines and stuff from there. So that's what I'm saying. I've been saying this all along. We're going to need to depend on Jesus and on Partey And
Well-
even I didn't say Zinchenko, but it looks like Zinchenko to some degree. But defensively, I think seeing I just push him up the pitch, please. I heard somebody say maybe we should just play him as the 8 and say, you know what, let's do that. But Arteta just won't do it, and I don't get it.
Rohan.
I don't get it.
Yeah, thanks, Gary. Rohan, you were at Brighton and amongst the Arsenal fans, right?
No, the home section. I was.
You
I
were in
was,
the home section.
I was
Okay.
on the.
So you had to stay pretty quiet.
Stealth mode, yeah. This was the most quiet game that I watched all season. Generally, I'm like hopping around and like people all of a sudden like are looking at me like, what the hell happened? And that's
yeah.
And then yeah, everybody's like scared, like what's happening? And then here, when Jesus went down and there was a penalty, I was like so overjoyed, but then I just turned around and I was like, it's offside.
Well, you survived, thankfully. My question is, what were your nerves like with Zinchenko playing left back in the Brighton game?
I think he played well, right? Especially against teams like, like Brighton, out of form Brighton or somebody else. The ones where where we have that control, or we need a little bit more control of midfield, where they're gonna sit back and we need that extra passing, to break the lines. Zinchenko is your man, right?
Yeah.
He may cost you a goal, but he's going to create much more than anyone else. So you've got to have him in those games, and in the in the tighter games, in the games that where teams aren't going to sit back and their right winger is going to attack us. You've got to have Tomiyasu in. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
I did not see it that way. He doesn't, for me, do as much as I would like him to do on the attacking side to make it worth the risk.
He turned the tie around.
No, he did, didn't he? Like
not enough. I mean, he did help us in this game, but I'm just saying, 9 times out of 10, I'm just like he's not helping us enough because we don't score that much, and I think some of that he's not helping. Like I watched that second half today.
Yeah.
And he came on, and yes, he was playing. He's playing right in front of he comes up, and the 3 gets behind him. It wasn't as fluid as I would have liked it to have been.
This was like maybe 2 years ago when City won the league on the last day against Villa when they were 2-0 down. Do you remember that? And they came back and won 3-2. That game, the substitution that he had made for that before getting before the goals got scored was Zinchenko on. Like, I mean, he's a creative player. Who's going to break the lines. He's something that we don't have ordinarily. I would have loved for him to play in midfield sometime, but he's not done that all season. He's not going to do that now. I feel like we've got those games. We've got the Evertons and the Wolves and all of these games where I think that Zinchenko might work. But I don't think that even against Manchester United, I think he might be fine.
Ooh.
But I don't think that against Spurs or somebody else that we'd want. Against Chelsea, I would play him. So actually, the only 2 games that I wouldn't play Zinchenko in the league are against United and Spurs.
Yeah.
The rest he can play.
Definitely. Okay. Tony Turner.
Oh, you're just like, somebody hates me.
I was just.
Sorry, did I say that out loud? Football gods don't like me.
I was just about to ask Stan about Jesus and Trossard.
Jesus.
You just woke up. Lawrence. Lawrence has been crying this entire
Lawrence
I don't know why.
No,
now
Lawrence is going to have his after supper entertainment now. He's eating like a king.
Tom has released you, Tony.
I've got my seatbelt on.
Can I just say before we continue? Lawrence, Lawrence, do you
And,
know what? Lawrence, do you know what your cup of tea is missing?
Go
Do you know
on.
what it's missing?
No,
It's
go on.
missing one of these.
there you go.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Oh, there you go.
Trossard.
Get him a Ramsdale cup.
Where now, Lawrence? Where would you be able to get a receptacle such as the one that I'm showing you here?
I know you're dying to tell me.
Well, if you go onto Etsy and go to Laguna Shack, you will find a fine range of Arsenal-related coffee mugs and flasks.
Ooh.
You
Okay.
never know. You
Will
might
I
see
find
something that
one?
you might like.
Will I find one with Tony on it?
You never know.
He turned milk
They are
sour,
mugs.
but go ahead.
I just wanted to say the big gunner Ramadan finished on the 9th, so
Okay.
I think we're good.
Rohan flying
Martinez
high
on
with the
that.
seagulls, the season ticket, the Brighton season ticket. But I did that many years ago at Old Trafford, Rohan, so I know exactly what you're talking about. Lundberg scored, and I couldn't celebrate Lundberg scoring. I bring out the gesture.
You finally brought Rohan back.
All right. I was going to go to Stan, but Tony, I'm going to go to you. Justify why Gabriel Jesus should not be coming on in the second half of this game, Tony.
Of which game? The upcoming one?
The Bayern. No, he
Bayern.
He made a contribution for Trossard, did he not?
Why are you doing this to me, football god? Why?
Now I know.
You have a big fucking target guy, Kai, that can hold on to the ball and get it to Trossard. Trossard can make with tight angles. He's way more clinical than Jesus is.
All right.
You lose a lot of. You're losing goals.
There we go. Moss said Tross and Jesus made the difference with Alexander Zinchenko in the second half. Cannot deny that. Getting an equalizer for it. And despite all of the mistakes that we made at the back in the first half, we're back in this tie at 2-2, Tony.
Back in the tie. Come on, Ray. Arsenal has been third odds to win the Champions League all season long.
We're second odds right now, so you're wrong.
Yeah, because listen, we can't play City and Real Madrid together. You know what I mean? It's not going to be a combined City and Real Madrid team that we face in the semifinals if we get through.
Yeah, but what happens when you have Zinchenko? Right.
What happens when we have Zinchenko?
You lose on defense.
We believe in our soul.
Yeah, but we rode our luck a little bit. We could have gone 3-1 down, but we didn't. We got the tie back to 2-2. We could have went to 3-2, but the post saved us. And we go to Germany now, Tony, with a fighting chance to not lose 5-1 like we would have done in the past.
I like how everybody's changed their stories. It was Arsenal's a win 3-1. Arsenal's a win 4-1. Arsenal's a win 3-2.
Yeah, I thought it would be a 3-0 or a 3-1. I did.
Do you know what I did? Stan probably knows what I did.
Stan, he needs validation from you, Stan.
To think of a person's name and the score line. That's all you have to do.
Huh?
Stan didn't even watch the game.
Come on, Stan.
When you talk about the Bayern game, Stan is as useful as an ashtray on a motorbike.
I didn't see the game, Tony.
I know, but I went for the score prediction.
Stan was making coin.
So I went for a Desmond 2-2.
You might have said that last week. You might have said 2-2. Yeah.
Gary can confirm I said 2-2.
Lawrence, yep.
I now know why Alonso made a brief entrance and exit just now.
I know why also.
Yeah.
He didn't feel he was going to get enough airtime tonight. I'm never going to get on now, says Alonso. All right.
There's sharks
So
in the water.
let's skip to next Wednesday. Left back. Are we all going with Tommy Asu at left back?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
Tony,
Shit, I wonder who said
Tony,
that.
who are you going to play at left back?
Who
Tony,
wants to get roasted next week?
Tony wants to get roasted.
Tony.
I don't want to hear
What
three
is
at a
it
time,
that
Tony.
what is it that Jimmy Carter's wife used to say?
Yeah.
Just say no.
Just say no. Tony,
Tony,
please
just say no.
tell me what you're going to do without saying play three at the back.
I would still just stick with Kiwior.
Wow.
Well,
Kiwior,
you're
okay.
missing who fucked up in the game.
You are. You definitely no.
Man got
no.
roasted.
That's nonsense right
Tony.
there.
Who fucked
That's
up the
pure
game again?
nonsense right
Who
there.
got their third penalty of a season? It would be the fucking Rolls Royce. I don't know how players call the Rolls Royce. He's not.
What are we talking about?
Yeah, what
I'm
is
saying,
Well,
how do you call
riddle-
a player
riddle
a
me
Rolls
this.
Royce? I'm talking about the penalty that
Tony.
Saliba gave away.
The who? Saliba giveaway. Okay. It's the guy. 1-0 to Arsenal. We're through to the semis. Yeah. I think it's going to have to be a tight game at the Alliance. We're going to have to get to halftime 0-0, I would say, and win the game in the second half. All right.
Are we going to score 5 in the second half? Come on.
We're not going to score 5 in the second half. No, unless they're penalties.
You have
Unless they're penalties, Rowan.
the 5 penalties.
Yeah, 5 penalties, and Rayo is going to save 2. We've seen this before in the last round.
We're
No,
lucky.
but look, Stan and Tony. Stan, you made the list. You're your first
Yeah,
name
Stan's
on
name was-
Lawrence's team sheet.
Stan was already on the list.
How does
There's only one list.
Yeah, how does Tony, your
There's only
favorite,
one list.
make your
But
own
there's
list?
many imitations.
That
There's
just sounds
many
a little. That
imitators,
sounds,
Stan.
it sounds a little like.
Only one list.
How does my name appear on Stan's list 3 times?
You got a hat trick.
You know what? You know what? I think that Ramsdale hate, that Ramsdale love, is probably one of the reasons. Yeah.
How about Leandro Trossard, though, like scoring 2 goals in the knockout stages? The last round and in this round. Leandro Trossard comes
Arteta
up.
hasn't figured out how to start him and get a similar performance consistently.
He started against Porto.
He hasn't figured out how to get to the point where Trossard is a legitimate starter for us. He's our best finisher, right?
But Gary,
Everybody
we've
says
gone
that.
past
Last
this.
season, he didn't finish, but he gave us double-digit assists.
What?
This season, he's scoring goals. We can't. Arteta doesn't figure out a way to get him into a game starting where we punish teams early enough, such that he starts. We know we're going to score
He scored against Porto in the last round.
consistently. Listen to everything I say.
I did.
Gary,
Yes, sir.
what were your favorite colors as a kid?
What does that have to do with whether
Just
Trossard is?
answer my question. Answer my question.
This is nonsense.
It's
I'm
not
sorry.
nonsense.
No, Tony, you're not. It's just nonsense. dude.
Ray, what was your favorite colors as a kid?
Probably red. Probably.
Just
All
throw
right.
in a couple more colors.
Oh, so until I get what you want. Okay. All right.
Just say-
Tony's
say
that
yellow and
that
blue.
magician that says, hey, "What card was yours?"
So
Ace of spades?
Ray,
No.
so
Hold on a
Ray,
sec. Tony, 1 second. We got Stan and Rohan have to go in a few minutes. I'm going to give them a few minutes to say what they need to say and make their exits quietly
okay.
and without fuss. Stan,
I'm going for my dinner now. That's it. What I've got to say, really.
matter of factly. Okay. Alonso
No-
is waiting
no-
in the
no
wings. We'll
kebab.
bring Alonso in then. Rohan, you sticking around for a few minutes or are you going now?
Yeah, no, I got 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes. Okay. All right. We'll bring Alonso in. Alonso,
So-
how are you?
Good. How you doing? Hey,
All right.
Rohan.
We got to give you some airtime, Alonso. Go.
talk about what gave me a subject, right? Come on, man.
I can give you a subject.
Dude, you've been sitting there waiting.
No. I need a subject to talk about, man. What you guys gonna talk about?
Talk about
Alonzo, what was
Arsenal,
your
man. Your
What's
team
your favorite color?
you
I
love.
got-
what was your
no, we're not
favorite
doing
colors
colors.
as a kid?
We're not doing colors.
Can I finish my point?
No,
Alonzo.
your point is terrible, Tony.
Against Villa, Alonso on Sunday. Are you playing? Are you starting Partey or Jorginho?
I'm gonna start with what works. I think Jorginho has done a good job for Arsenal ever since he's come on. So I wouldn't break it up, but I think we need a rotation. So yeah, Partey needs to play more often, but I would play him more at the halftime or a 30th minute. Jorginho's getting older, so he has to rest his legs for the upcoming final games. But I think Partey is due for a game. But right now against Aston Villa, I wouldn't start him. I'll just go with works, or at least put Declan Rice at the pivot and have someone else start besides Odegaard.
Lawrence, are you
Yeah.
filing taxes? Are you filing taxes?
Yeah. Yeah.
You have 4 days
So-
left.
I'm
You
putting
know
it-
that, right?
So
I'm putting them in my
For fuck's sake,
pony
man.
file.
Go ahead, Alonso.
right, so I wouldn't mind seeing Emirates Rowe start besides Odegaard and put Rice at the number 6, just to see how it works out. It's really a good team, and they'll be trying to go forward a lot of the time. So I wouldn't mind seeing Emirates Rowe at number 8 position and have Rice start at number 6.
Yeah, I think Aston Villa are going to try and manage the rest of their season as well. What do you think, Rohan? Tottenham will play Newcastle and likely lose up there at the weekend, and that'll give Aston Villa maybe the excuse not to really turn up against Arsenal at the Emirates. Am I reaching?
Yeah.
Reaching.
I mean,
Douglas, no
they'll-
Douglas Luiz, Rohan. No Douglas Luiz.
no Douglas Luiz. Yeah, but this guy's back. No, what's his name? The striker Watkins.
Watkins is
good.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see, the way Aston Villa's form has been, we should have a good day out. I wouldn't say easy because Emery's got a personal agenda there and all of that. But we should get the job done. I'd start Partey in this game. I'd start Zinchenko in this game. These are the games that we need to get minutes in their legs because because we're going to need them, and it's at home. Our boys will be, they'll want to have a good performance after the last defensive display, and I'm pretty confident that we'll dispatch them.
Yeah.
Rohan, so you would start Zinchenko over Kvyat and or Tomiyasu?
I see, over Kvyat definitely, but maybe I would give Tomiyasu a run out because he's the one that I want to start against Bayern. He hasn't played in a while, so I might give him some time there.
60-30.
Yeah, 60-30. But Zinchenko, I think can play this game, and he won't be a liability in this game, I feel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting.
If they sit back, we'll need Zinchenko.
Yeah, and look, I think there's going to be an element. There might be a change or two here to preserve legs. Bukayo Saka may not start this game, for instance, for example. You know what I mean? I know Ryan said that he was down in a heap and then walked to the halfway line and then ran to the referee. So
he just had 2 weeks off. He didn't even play with England. Why does he need days off now? Just make him run, man. Like, run him to the ground. He doesn't need to play the Euros. Nobody cares.
Okay. Yeah, I think our team, I think our players have learned a big lesson against Bayern Munich, and we played, as Gary said, to that level to where playing in Aston Villa should be, 3 points for us on the board, and be ready for that contest in Germany next Wednesday. Tony, what do you think?
I was gonna say, Rohan, somebody cares because we had 6 interlulls. Don't know why we need 6 international breaks. Makes no freaking sense to me. But
Tony has his things he likes to complain about, right, Tony?
Yeah. What I was gonna say, people like playing. You know what people like playing with as kids? They like crayons, and you have your favorite colors, and you keep those. You don't share them with anybody else. That's what Arteta does. He has Zinchenko.
I think
He
he's
has
gotten a lot
Jesus.
better.
Now he's got to the point. Okay.
Oh my God.
He had Zaka.
He got the Jesus and Zinchenko, yes.
Yes.
He doesn't want to share it with the fans.
Yeah. I think Mikel Arteta's gotten a little bit better in terms of our squad is now 14, 15, 16 deep.
It's been because of injuries, right?
No, it's because of necessity. We needed to use these players.
Jesus didn't get injured. Zinchenko didn't get injured. Tomiyasu didn't get injured.
I like the thumbs up. I like the thumbs up.
No, so Jesus, I think will play a critical role in midweek. So I would give him a run out as well. I don't know why he's not playing till now. I know it's probably because this one Arteta is going with if it's not broken, don't fix it sort of mentality. But then we've got to have all of these players ready, and Jesus, when he came on, he was dangerous. Give him some time against Villa. Give these guys, if anything, then play Trossard on the other side and give Saka rest and put this one on. But what I think you were asking, who should start? Should Trossard start in midweek against Bayern? And I feel like Martinelli needs to get a kick up his backside, and then it's a game for Martinelli to play, because there will be times when we'll be pushed all the way back, and that's when we'll need Martinelli space to get out.
Yeah, you're cold, Alonso. You're cold. You take his soul, Zinchenko's soul, if you do that.
He's indestructible.
So
Yeah.
yes, Lawrence, go
I
ahead.
think-
And Gary, yeah.
Yeah, I think we should give Partey, full run out, full 90 minutes.
I
Playing
don't know if we can
alongside.
last the full 90 though. You know what I mean? We need to build them up. It's
Yeah,
a player who's been out for most of the season. We need to be cognizant of that as well. A fit Partey that can play minutes for us is going to be very valuable, and share minutes with Jorginho especially is going to be very valuable. Gary, Gabriel Jesus, we've seen contributions at Brighton, contributions at home to Bayern. It looks like there's something there with Gabriel Jesus that we can ride for a few more match days.
I said going into this stretch run here to end this season, Jesus and Partey for me are definitely good additions to have that we're going to need to utilize as much as we can. If Partey can give us 20, 30 minutes a game, we should utilize that. Jesus, we know what he can do. We just saw what he did, right? Who can make that play in the box with all those people all around him and still be able to find Trossard? Not too many people can do that. So, we need more of that, because we're going to need to score. You can't win 0-0. You know what I mean? So he gives us those opportunities. So I say, bring him on. So yeah, no, I think we saw. We always look at our bench and say, do we have any answers there? And we had good answers there this week, right? We had 3 good players to come on.
Yep.
So, I mean, like I said, I'm not. I guess I'm kind of with maybe I'm with Alonso on the Zinchenko hate train. I don't think he gives us enough. I know he's building up from the back, but I fear the worst defensive.
Gary,
Yeah, plus
so I'm gonna elaborate on what Gary had said. To me, when I see Zinchenko play, and I think it was Gary, you were watching Ryan's podcast, Ryan's watch along as well. He ball watches too much, and in times that you think the other team's gonna score because of that, and this is why Ben White got mad at him, because his defending is not great at all. And I get it, people are going to say, well, he helped us Arsenal. He helped Arsenal get to top 2 or the second league. But was it because of motivation, or was it his inspiration? Because there were some games last year he cost Arsenal some points.
Mm-hmm.
So what am I seeing differently that other fans can convince me on why Zinchenko is good defensively?
I don't think anybody can say that, though. I don't think anybody can say defensively Zinchenko is an answer for us. I don't think anybody can say that, and I think that's my concern.
I can't say
it's not hate, it's observation.
Look, and this, Tony will tell you, I've got this banner here for 2 years, 2 seasons now. This banner has stayed. To be or not to be, progressive or pragmatic. Tony, we've gone back and forth on this one with Zinchenko. My brother-in-law, who's a Manchester City fan, told me when we acquired Zinchenko, told me exactly who he was. He's going to make mistakes. He's not great defensively. But going forward, he's going to give you something. And we've seen that for 2 seasons under Zinchenko and under Arteta. It's up to Arteta to take the best parts of his game and protect the team from him at the end of the game. So we're starting to see an evolution, I think, of Zinchenko, where he plays 60, 65 minutes. And in most games, he gets taken off by a better, more defensive fullback, And we know, with Zinchenko and the team, we're likely to lose a goal. Right? What, Tony?
Can we not play him? Can we just not play him as left midfielder?
I don't pick the team.
And he's not done it all season. He's not going to do it now, right? The same way that he's not going to play Ramsdale now. These are all things.
But it's funny, like you have to remember Christmas during the last season, right? Me and you were like right on there as in Chico player for the year. Then it got nobody was
2023 or 2022. Which year was this? Which
2022, right? Not. I said last season, right? Last season. Last season.
Yes.
We have more than enough to talk about this calendar year. We don't need to talk about last season.
Don't ever change, Tony.
No, but me and Ray were sitting there talking about.
No, Ray's not with you. Don't bring Ray into this. He's not with you, Tony.
I'm going to be like Dan
and
pretend we never had this conversation.
Ray's too nice to tell you how he really feels. I'm just going to speak for him.
Well, look,
he wants to talk about what happened yesterday, not what happened last week. All right.
Yeah, let's look forward. Tony.
This is nobody is making a case for Zinchenko defensively, but I feel like in most of these matches we will not. I'm hoping that we don't need that defensive noise there. And what's happening right now with Kivia or what will happen with Tomiyasu is that Ben White is coming in and he's not overlapping because of that. But when Zinchenko is in, then Ben White's going to stay back and make the 3. Right, that's just what is going to happen. So effectively, it's the same thing. We've got 3 players at the back.
Here's my thing though with that. The same way I felt keep Xhaka away from my defensive back line, the better and happier I will be.
The more secure we feel.
That's exactly what happened last year. Same thing with Zinchenko. The work that he's doing would be much better if he's closer to the opponent's goal, right? We're trying to score there, and that's what he's really good at, right?
And
I don't know if it was he was part of that when we scored that goal. I think he was further up the pitch, right? When he's playing right in front of that back line, I don't think he's that good there. I think he needs to just go up further up the pitch
think of a game. You're thinking of a game where we are defending constantly, right? We are talking about games where we will be on the
65%.
offense most of the time, and there'll be a few chances here or there. There won't be sustained.
Where are they
pressure.
going to go when they have an opportunity to attack? We saw that immediately.
Down our left,
They're going to go right at him
Transition.
every time,
Right.
and that's the problem.
But-
He is so like an easy mark. As soon as a team has an opportunity to attack and they see him in front, they're just going to go right at
I'm
him.
telling you, there
He's
will be
vulnerable.
times till the end of the season where teams are going to sit back because they'll know that we are desperate for a goal, and that's when Zinchenko's come.
The key in the league in these remaining 7 games, the important times will be if we ever, and there's maybe going to be 1 or 2 games where we do go a goal down, maybe 1 game in these 7. It'll be important because if we get the first goal, a lot of times we'll go on to win that game. If we concede the first goal, then it's going to look difficult to overcome.
So based on that, Ray, why don't you start Martinelli and Trossard on the wings for the rest of the season?
Martinelli and Trossard.
Yeah.
They're vying for the same position, right? Or where do you want Trossard?
You can put him on the right side.
Well, where are you going to play Saka?
You think you're gonna? There's a better player than Saka. Is what you're trying to say? Is that what you're going to
So
say?
you're going to drop Saka, are you? Is that what you mean?
Saka's
You're going to drop
been
Saka?
injured for months now.
Got some anger in his eyes. He's driving right out after
Great
this.
experience.
Tony wants to play Saka at the starting 10.
You're gonna.
No, I want Saka to sit there and freaking rest. Everybody's talking about rotation.
Tony,
no time to
Tony, there's 10 more games.
Oh my God!
There's about 10 more
I
games.
get rotation, but like when you have, I get rotation.
You guys
but I
talk
don't
about rotation. You talk about injuries. Saka's been injured, but he keeps getting played.
Yeah, listen, I think every player plays with some sort of niggle or pain.
It's not a niggle.
There's not many games. He might be carrying an injury. They're managing the injury. He's not training. Some days he's not training. He might be missing a day. The club has tailored. We'll wrap this up in a second, Rowan. If you got to go, that's fine.
I'll just say this. He's got 2 weeks off during the international break. Then he didn't play one whole game when he wasn't even in the squad. Like he got substituted at 45 minutes against Luton. Like how much more rest does a 22-year-old need, right? So, of course, if he's injured and if he's in the red zone, then you rest him, and we've got enough players to play in. Well, Jesus can probably play in that position, but till he's the talisman of the team, and I don't think he will want to give up at this stage of the season. At max, we've got 10 games. At the least, we've got 8. Right? Yeah. It's not the end of the world, and I think he can play through this pain barrier, hopefully. And bring us home. That's what I feel. Go ahead.
What's your sense? Is he at 75%, 80%?
I think he's at 75 or 80%. But that against most teams is going to be good. And Saka, we've seen that a lot of times he just needs a moment in the game, and then he does it. It's a lot of times I've felt that he's not done anything in the game, and he should be substituted. And in the 70th minute, 80th minute, he does something, right? So he's that sort of a player. So, and you have to have that player on the pitch. He almost got us that penalty against Bayern as well, right? Yeah. So, hopefully, we use our squad wisely. I think Aston Villa is a time to make some changes. We're playing at home; they're out of form. If we need reinforcements, we've got that on the bench. 5 substitutes, you can use that. So all of this, if we are smart, we can probably do it. The tougher games are still to come, but like Gary said, we have to take the next one and then move on to the one after that. So that's where we are. But let's not forget these players are also human, right? Like they can almost touch it now. So they will at some points, if it's level at 75 minutes, they will feel that pressure,
Nice.
and
Yeah.
it's just because how good the other teams are. The league is so good that it's boring now, that you have no scope or no room to drop any points, right? If you don't get that 89, 90 points, you're not winning the league. And if we want to do that, we have to win all of our games, and for 90 we've got to draw one, and that doesn't guarantee us the title. So 92 is what we have to aim for.
Yep.
Hopefully we're going to get that. But
Yep.
that being said, Ray, Gary, Tony, Alonso, Lawrence, Stan, thank you so much. It's been amazing being back.
Good fun.
Being up with you guys. Yeah.
Don't leave it 18 years till they come back next time again, Rowan.
No, absolutely not.
Or 42 months or whatever it is.
Yeah.
22.
I'm gonna
See you, Han. Nice seeing you, pal.
All right, good seeing you.
Love
Rohan.
to have you again. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was just gonna say, Rohan's. It sounded like his final words, and it was his final words. So let's do that, Gary. Final words.
Final words? No.
Yeah,
we
just
got
some.
Aston Villa. We got to get the win at Aston Villa. Next game up. Arteta's going to have to find, reaching his bag of tricks, and I would like to have an easy game so we can. How about we send all of their fans home early again? We've been doing a lot this season. Send all their traveling fans and get them out of London, because we are out of at least the Emirates as fast as we can, and get that win. That's the next one up. And like I said, I think not Saka, but Partey and Jesus need more minutes so we can see where they are, because we're definitely going to need them when we go to Germany. So
speak a little bit. I'll go to Alonso and Tony, but Gary, speak a little bit about that City Real Madrid game as well.
Yeah, City Real, the 3-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, I've listened. I didn't get to watch, of course, because I was watching something else more important to me.
Isn't that crazy that they played? They showed they were on simultaneously. They should have
it's a little crazy that they do that. I mean, the games would be good to watch. I think that game. It's hard to tell. Like, was it bad defense that 6 goals were scored? Was it really good offense that 6 goals were scored? I mean, they said a lot of those goals were all like, goals of the season kind of shots that were being made there. Foden, Guardiola, Valverde. I've heard. I didn't see anything, but I heard all the names about the goals. But no, it's hard to tell. Like, we always say, all right, big game, 0-0, right? Happens, right? We just did that against City. This is supposed to be a big game at the Bernabeu, 3-3. Is that good or bad? I guess we'll find out at the Etihad, right?
Same as a 2-2, right?
Whether it was a blip or whether they're just, I think 6 goals scored is, for me, I think that's poor defense.
Yeah.
For one or both teams, pick one, whatever you want. But yeah, hopefully they have to go an extra 30 minutes and we finish early, and then we'll see how this thing goes, and Arsenal gets the win. We need to, like I said, I don't want to learn how to lose on the road in the second leg. I don't want to have to learn that, right? In the quarterfinals. How about
we're better than
go to the next round? So Arteta needs to tell his guys, you can beat them, and there's a reason why, and I'm going to show you how, and the team goes and does it. So that's it for me. Thanks for having me on,
Gary.
I'll let everybody have their say.
All right, absolutely. All I'll say is Man City had to score 3 world-class goals to get a draw at Real Madrid, but it was at Real Madrid. I think they go to the Etihad, and I think Madrid still have a chance in this game. And, of course, Arsenal have a great chance in Bayern Munich, but we're going to have to pull out one of those great European performances, something like Sevilla earlier in the season. Alonso, what do you got to say for everything that's going on at Arsenal and Champions League?
Well, I just want to say a shout out to Stan for going off when I come in so I could talk. So I think Arsenal are in a supposedly good spot. I think all they just gotta hold down. Bayern Munich. We all know that Kane is going to probably dive more or get penalties, and that's how we really can score is through penalties, really. Though my best hope is that they learn from this experience from yesterday's game and just get better from it and learn quickly on the fly that they could beat Bayern Munich, and they had to have that belief they can accomplish that. As far as Aston Villa, however we get set up, I hope that Mikel Arteta has a plan and that he can stop them. We all know what Jamie McGinn had did to us. What kind of player Ollie Watkins is. They have a good team there, and I think Emirates wants to beat Arsenal because they fired him. So there's a lot going on. I know Saka's hurt, banged up, but like Rohan said, he's still very young, so he could recover quickly. And if he can't go, then we have backups that can fill his spot. So I'm excited, really am, to see how this plays out. And I'm always hopeful for an Arsenal win, where before I didn't have that belief. So they got to play integrity. They had to play smart. Like I said, Aston Villa is no joke, and neither is Bayern Munich. So they got to go to both places and win. That's what I need to do and have that confidence. And thanks for having me on, Ray. Thanks to see Gary and Tony.
Yeah, Alonso, thank you.
Enjoyed it for the time I was here.
Tiger and Gunnar has joined us as well. I will say, Tiger and Gunnar, great to see you here, but do rewind back and look back. It's been a great podcast, a great show, and we're about to finish it with Tony getting the last say. How did that happen? I don't know. How did I do that?
Okay, you like to be in that way, Ray. Come on.
All right, Tony. Give me your best.
Ray's back with a Star Wars shirt. But I think what it was, I think it was two teams going for each other. The City and Real Madrid, they were just trying to outscore each other because you don't have the stupid away goal anymore. You don't have it. It was a stupid thing. I can't believe it stayed around that long. And I think you've seen it this season that these teams are going at each other because they know it doesn't.
I saw that hesitation when you saw Tom's in the chat in the comments section. You're like hesitated, Tony.
No, my mouth's dry, but anyway. But
what happened?
My mouth's dry.
Your mouth's dry. Okay, you better lubricate that thing.
I couldn't hit the roof of my mouth with my tongue, so I couldn't talk, right? Anyway,
I think it's down to Tom psyching you out a little bit.
But you've seen it. You've seen it even with Porto. That Porto was trying to keep toe and toe with us because these teams know the away goals don't matter now, so they're going at each other. It's better football. It's better football.
Yep.
It's much more enjoyable to watch. As far as what you said, I miss the games that for you it'd be 3 and 5 p.m. when they used to split up the Champions Leagues, and it was even better like earlier in it because they mixed it between the Fox Regional channel, Fox Sports 2, and the Soccer Channel.
Yeah,
they would split all of those games up so you could watch all of them at once if you wanted to. But when it came down to this part of it, they were at 2 and 4 Central Time, or 3 and 5.
Yeah.
But as far as Arsenal, I think you ride what's working. Jorginho's working.
Jesus.
No, Ray. No,
it's working. Havertz had a quiet game, so we'd like for him to come back on Sunday as well.
And he's that Waka Waka power.
Yeah. We
I
had
mean, I kind of feel
Wa-
like that's on Arteta to figure out how to get these players to work and whatever, make that
65
change
million,
on the
man.
fly, right? You didn't make that
Kai
change on
Havertz
the fly.
scored again. On
Yeah,
the
he
fly.
doesn't have that
We
long.
What's on the fly?
You don't want Martinelli back, Ray? Yeah,
Gary,
Martinelli.
listen,
You
I
just
think we
kick
gotta go to Gary.
You just kick Saka to the
Gary.
curb.
Gary, I think we all love Martinelli, but you're probably more really invested in Martinelli. Now, honestly, does he deserve to continue in the starting spot? Martinelli.
I really don't understand how we can utilize him in that game. That's the thing that I don't get. So I kind of feel like
Well,
that's on.
It's on him, right?
I feel like your manager should be able to figure out a way to get you into a game when the other team maybe has an answer.
He put him on the
for it.
field. He put him on the field. He got him in the game.
That's not all. You know what? You act like that's it. You act like that's it. It's all over. The coaches just stop coaching when they
No,
put the
but
players on the
you
pitch.
send them out with
And you know what?
tactics.
You know what the best managers do when they
What?
figure out that guess what, the initial plan didn't work. Guess what they do? They change it and figure out a way to make it work. Right?
Well, what did Jurgen Klopp didn't do it tonight? You know,
I don't know. I'm just saying that's what the good managers do. I think Jurgen Klopp was playing with a short deck. I don't think he had all the players.
He had Salah. He didn't put the right players on.
Well, like I said, I don't think
Salah
it was just he was
unsubs.
resting everybody as much as it was also that players were either injured or sick. Because I think there was the case of somebody that was sick. I don't know who.
Okay.
But I think it wasn't all that. But like I said, I think at some point I try to, like we always talk about a plan B. We needed a plan B to get Havertz and Martinelli into this game. We needed that, right? And he didn't do that. So I kind of feel that that's partly on the coaching, because the players can continue to do what you're asking, but if the opponent is stopping that from happening, guess what? You have to figure out a way around it, and that's what managers do. They are the statisticians of. They are the strategy makers as to how to break down a team, right? Because the next thing you're going to tell me is you don't want players that go off the reservation and don't follow the coach's, rules and expectations on the pitch, right? And
I think you can be given instructions to do, but it didn't work for him. He wasn't playing well.
So then the coach has to figure out a better way, right?
It's the coach doesn't play on the field.
The coach is the one telling them what to do. You make it sound like the coach. Okay, once again, let's try this again. The game starts. Everything you practice for isn't working. The coach just sits there and goes, "Oh, you guys just continue doing."
I'm going to ask Alonso and Tony what they think on this as well. What you going to rule in my favor or Gary's favor, Alonso?
About the coaching.
Yeah, Martinelli didn't play well because of Arteta. Is that what Gary's saying? Is that fair, Gary?
I just said that at some point what Martinelli was doing wasn't working. And at some point the coach has got to figure out a way to get it to work, because we know why we like Martinelli, right? His pace and all of that. Yeah. Somehow it was not being utilized. We needed to figure out a way to get it.
I think they were double teaming. They were double teaming our wingers as well.
I think
that's why you have to figure it away, right?
I think Martinelli got hurt and he lost his way, I guess. He lost his confidence through that injury. And like you said, like we like him for his pace. He does an amazing job dribbling. But like you said, Ray, I think, teams have caught up to that. And in the past 2 years, rather, we depend so much on Martinelli and Saka to score goals for us, where this year we're seeing it more spread out. And I think, of course, as we're getting better, I think teams have figured Arsenal out. Like Gary has said, they have to make it. A coach has to make adjustments to make it work.
Yeah,
and that's why you're seeing Kai Havertz score a lot of goals recently, and Saka is still performing well. And you're seeing Odegaard and Trossard scoring as well. So it's all about balance this year. To me, is what I see in this team right now, and that's a good thing because we want balance. We've seen Ben White score. We've seen Kubiar score. So it's about balance. And I think this year is what you take out of this year is that Arteta's finally seen a squad that score goals, even off the bench. So it's a good thing.
Okay. Gary, thanks for joining tonight. Really appreciate the chat with you. And Alonso, thanks for joining. Really appreciate the chat. Tony, really appreciate you joining as well. Tony, give us a word, a sentence of inspiration, Tony, and we'll get out of here. Inspire us for Sunday.
Inspire us.
Or just a word of wisdom. I know. I'm asking for a lot.
Yesterday's the past.
I love it.
Tomorrow is the future. Today is a gift.
All right.
Unless you're talking about like what happened last season, then it's all right.
Oh, Gary, you said you were done.
Hopefully tomorrow's the gift.
Stop talking already.
All right. Thanks everybody for being here. Hopefully you enjoyed it live and you're enjoying it on the playback, and we'll see you on Sunday. And maybe Alonso's gonna have a podcast on Saturday. Gary's gonna have
Sunday.
You're gonna do Sunday. Gary's gonna have the trip on Saturday.
The road trip on Saturday.
On Saturday. Okay. I don't do that on purpose. I just forget. Huh?
So don't you know all these already? Right.
No, I don't. I really forget it. No,
he doesn't care. That's what he's trying to say. That's all right. We
I
understand.
care enough. I care enough to mention it, Gary. But listen, I do like to go in and banter whoever it would be sometimes. So, Tom, you're going to get bantered this week. And okay, we're out of here. Thanks everybody for being here. Come on, the Gunners. We are 7 games away from Premier League glory and 4 away from a Champions League double. There you go. Take care, everyone. Have a great weekend. See you Saturday and Sunday and Sunday.